What's up, everybody? We are back with a brand new edition. Of course, my name is Jen. I'm your manifestation bestie, where I teach you how to leverage the law of assumption to work in your favor. I already know that sounds good to you, so click that follow button, subscribe button, wherever you're watching from. Also, I go live every day at 10 o'clock Pacific time. Hey, bestie fire sign. If you ever miss a live from me, don't trip. I always post them on the tube of the U. All links are in my bio, okay? But go there, watch it, learn something, implement it, apply it, so you can get your shit. I manifested my SP back from no contact to living with me in a matter of 4 weeks. So I'm here to help you do the same, and I'm good at it. I only teach realistic advice and what works. So, what up, Mina girlfriend? Also, if you're interested in having me manifest your SP for you, or you want to work with me one-on-one so we can figure out where you're going wrong so you can get your shit right, then grab a session. I promise you won't be disappointed. Okay. I'm feeling a little pep in the step today. I had a date night last night, plus me and my daughter are watching Temptation Island together. She's very logical when she watches that. It's very cute. Oh, user, that's not good. Okay. You locked in, never checked, and got him in 3 days. He was so in love, but then he ghosted you. All right. So typically the reason why that is one, you're not breaking patterns. Okay. So you're not breaking patterns. You're reverting back to old relationship. And this happens over and over and over again. Sure, Mina, I got your back, girlfriend. What up, Jut Bina? And of course, hey, baby sister. So typically this is where it's, okay, so you can manifest your SP back, right? But a lot of people don't tell you that there's 2 things that you must do to keep your SP. The first one is that you need to, the obvious is you need to select the version of your SP that you want, right? Perfect SP. The one who checks all the boxes. Okay, then the second thing, you need to not waver from that version. You need to stay with that version. And then the second thing that obviously most of the time is what's also going wrong, hey, and apologize to me, queen bitch, is that you are not breaking patterns. So you get them back, but then you're keeping with the same patterns that you had in your old relationship. So the problem is that they don't talk, they do something that that reflects like the old relationship. And then what happens? You get back in your thoughts about that. You get back into that vibe of your SP. So the problem is now you're reverting back. You're not breaking that pattern. Hey, Lisa bestie. Okay. So you're feeling good about your relationship 1 minute. All of a sudden they do something that reminds you of what they did in the past. And now we got a whole nother pattern created where you at some point felt them pulling away. Hey, Lisa with the butterfly. You felt them pulling away. And so when you feel them pulling away, what happens? You get all fucked up in your thoughts again. And then it pushes out again and again and again and again. And now they went from so in love with you to completely ghosting you. That doesn't happen overnight. Okay. This doesn't happen overnight, even though it seems like it does. The only reason why it's happening overnight is because you aren't doing anything different than what you did before in your previous relationship with your SP, as well as the one before that, and the one before that, and the one before that. Okay, all your relationships only have one thing in common, and that's always you. So it isn't anybody else, it's not them, it's you. And you're running your relationships the same way you've ran all of them. Therefore, they all end the same way, not together. And that's not the vibe. That is not the vibe. Are you being serious right now, Cece? Because if you are, what up, sister? Snaps for Cece. Yeah, you have a date with me. We have a date on Friday, bitch. Hey, you know what? You have a date with your SP on Friday. What if I just don't really care about affirming and stuff for my SP? I just feel calm and neutral. Jules, that's fine. You don't have to affirm for you and your SP. You didn't affirm for your breakup. You didn't affirm for any of that shit. So you don't have to necessarily do that. The reason why we do that is to discipline our mind. Okay, so if you're not, the only thing that I would recommend is you can't think outside of what it is that you want. Okay, so if you're neutral and calm about it, that's great. That's great. Because a lot of people aren't that way. And when you're neutral and calm about it, you lower the resistance when it comes to your SP. However, you need to make sure that your thoughts are not going against what you want, even if you're not affirming or doing anything for your SP. Because if that's the case, it's still producing. It's still keeping him away from you because you're going against what it is that you want. You're going against what you want over and over and over and over and over again. Hate deny. Okay, so that's the problem. That's the problem. Okay, you need to break old patterns. I keep telling, how many fucking times do I have to tell you guys you have to break old pattern? You have to do things differently, but you need to be calm and collect about it. Okay, you need to be calm and collect about everything. So when you're doing thought transmission, you do understand. Here's what I want you all right now to very much understand. That if you think about your SP, I guarantee you your SP is thinking about you. That's why you're thinking, it's called thought transmission, okay? So if you, every time you think about your SP, you need to know that your SP is also thinking about you, period. So hopefully you can sleep well at night for that. Now you need to be secure and confident within yourself. Let's talk thought transmission for a second and how it actually works, okay? Do they hear your thoughts? Yes, that's a given. When you think about them, do they think about you? Yes, given too. However, when you are not secure within, this is why you can think about them, you can tell them to contact you and they don't, okay? Because you're coming from a place of desperation. You're not coming from a place of confidence and security, okay? If you are confident and secure within yourself, you do know that you're loved, you know that you're chosen, you know all of this stuff, and you're calm about it, when you tell them to do what you want them to do, they will do it. Because you're not coming from I really need you to text me. Please, I really, really fucking need to talk to you right now. Like, I really need you to text me. You're not giving that vibe off. Instead, it's like, because that blocks the transmission, it weakens the transmission signal, if you will. It's like there's a tower, like a signal tower standing in between you and your SP. And the more desperation you come from, the more insecure you are about what it is you want from your SP, it weakens that signal. It's like you're putting up a barrier between you and SP, and the signal is weak because you are coming from a place of, I really need this to happen. I really, really need you to do this, versus like, why would you not text me? Why wouldn't you? You know, it's kind of like how you guys are obsessed over being blocked, and it like fucks your whole life up because you're blocked. Who gives a shit? You should know. You should be like, who the fuck would ever block me? Who would ever not want to talk to me? People love talking to me. Like, I know who I am. You need to know who you are. A bad bitch or man, a queen, someone who gets what they want and gets it when they want it, and all that stuff. And you know what you deserve. You know what you're worth. You know who you are. When you know who you are as a person, they know who you are too. But you need to know who you are. You need to know the value that you bring to the relationship, because they will too. So when you know that, then you kind of look at it like, bruh, I need you to get a grip and get your shit together, because hello, I'm in demand. I'm in demand. I have options. Like, basically, I can have whoever the fuck I want because I know who I am as a person. So you need to know who I am too. That's the attitude you have. And then when you tell their ass what to do, they do it. Why? Because you have a level of confidence about you. And like, basically, like, if you don't text me, let me tell you something, brother. That's your loss. It ain't mine. That attitude. When you have that attitude, that's called confidence. It's called knowing who the fuck you are. And when you know that, trust me, they will know that too. That's what causes them to chase you. That's what causes them to pursue you without you doing a goddamn thing. Because you're like, I'm a bad bitch, period. I know who I am. I know the value I bring to anybody's life in general. I know I'm a great person. I know I'm a perfect girlfriend to anybody. So you'll see that too. Why would they have to see that version of you? because that's who you believe you are, which is why they pursued you in the first place, which is why they pursued you even if you weren't interested in dating. But they pushed and they pushed and they wanted to be with you. They wanted to be with you. They moved the relationship forward because you had a confidence level about you. Like, please, if it ain't you, trust me, I will get someone else. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Okay, I am a once in a lifetime partner, period. You think you'll ever find anyone that matches my calibration? I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. I'm a once in a lifetime bitch to anybody. And anybody is blessed. Everybody is blessed to even have me in their aura, in their life. When you have that attitude, they see that too. And do you think they're going to let that go? No. No. There's plenty of women walking around super insecure with themselves. You don't need to be one of them. Okay, we need to what? We need to stand up. You know, it's called women empowerment, but it's that women empowerment, honestly, is the biggest joke in the world. It sounds good. It sounds good, but women are the first people to tear each other down. Have you ever noticed that? It's supposed to be, there's no male empowerment. It's women empowerment. But yet, women don't empower women anymore. Unless they're like speakers. Okay, they don't empower women anymore. Women would be the first person who would attack another woman. Put him down. We need to stop doing that shit. There's too many insecure women out there, but they're only insecure because their identities are wrapped up in their partners, are wrapped up in their relationships. Your relationship should never define who you are as a person, as a woman, as a man, ever, 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 ever. Because that's what keeps you magnetic. People are attracted and drawn to people who have a confidence level about them. And they will see that. So when you work on yourself in that respect, and I want you all to work on yourself in that respect, where no, I'm a bad bitch, and you'll come correct, or don't come at all. They will come. And they will pursue, and they will do all the things that you want them to do, because you're not coming from a place of desperation. You're not coming from a place of, I really need this. I really need this person. And no, bitch, I want you. There's a difference. I don't need you. That they're drawn to. Not feeling needed for something. Not feeling your desperate ass energy. Because you know energy's real, which is why we cut the energetic cord. But you can't come from desperate energy anymore. You have to come from boss ass energy, queen energy. You need to have queen and king energy, period. Because they will conform. They don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. But how soon they conform is entirely up to you and how you believe in who you think you are as a person. I don't wait for shit. I know that. But I also know who the fuck I am too. And my boyfriend confirms that all the time. Because he knows I'm a great woman. He also knows he'll never find anyone out there like me. Because I'm a once in a lifetime bitch. I know that. So he knows that. I know who I bring. I know my qualities. I want you guys to work on yours. Write it down. Who the fuck do you want to be? And then get in your fucking Wonder Woman pose and be that bitch. It's my little rant for you to inspire you to understand that they'll do whatever the fuck you want them to do when you know that you deserve it. When you know that you deserve to be respected. When you know what you deserve from a partner, they will confirm that. They will be that person for you willingly because you know what you deserve. To stop letting people disrespect you in your own fucking reality when you have the ability to change that, which we're going to talk about assumptions in one hot little fucking sec. But before I get way out of control with these comments, let's address some of the questions first, and then we'll get into assumptions, because I think you guys forget that everyone has assumptions. It isn't just fucking you. My girlfriend's pissing me off right now. She's supposed to go pick me up some groceries because I have this fucking French onion soup and I'm trying to eat with my cheese. And so I got all excited when she dropped her daughter off this morning. I was like, fuck yeah, had my soup out all ready. And then I see her drop her daughter off and leave. And I'm like, where the fuck is my cheese, bitch? Anyway, okay. Casey, SP reached out after no contact. Old version. I ignored now. He keeps texting empty text. What to do? Okay, first of all, you don't need to ignore. Okay, you don't need to come from desperation either, but you don't need to ignore his text when you have the power to change the text. Okay, because your subconscious mind, remember, your subconscious mind is blind. It has no idea what you're looking at ever. It has no idea what you're looking at. So it only knows what you tell yourself. So they're reaching out. They're not the new version, which I try to set you guys up for as much success as possible. You understand? I try to tell you that when they first come back, that you'll most likely get hot and cold behavior. Bits and pieces of old version, bits and pieces of new version. But when the old version rears its head, that's when you must persist in only what you deserve. New version. Better version. So you don't have to ignore his text, but he's texting empty text. I don't know what that means. I don't think he's sending you a text with a period and that's all it says. Right? It's just blank text. It obviously says something. Okay? But what I would do is keep it natural, keep it casual while you are assigning the meaning you want to the text, like their empty text. He's so fucking sweet. My God, he sends the best text. Like he sends the best text. They're always so loving. That's all your subconscious mind knows those texts are, which now it will turn around. It will turn around. Those texts, the context of those texts will start to change. Now, all of a sudden, he's sending you loving text, sweet text. Because you're changing the meaning of those texts. You're not, because you're assigning empty text. So therefore, they must stay that way. So if you want the context of the text to change, then you need to change the text, the meaning of the text, as in, he sends the best text. Like he literally is so sweet in his text. Okay. And persist in new version. I certainly wouldn't ignore. I mean, it's just my personality. You can do what you want. I personally don't ignore because it's like I want contact with my SP. So when my SP contacts me, what the fuck do I look like by ignoring? You understand that your subconscious mind is very confused. So if you want text and you want contact from your SP and you get contact and now you ignore the contact, your subconscious mind is like, I'm not quite sure what it is that we want here. So if you go back no contact, that's all you, because you're wanting one thing, you're affirming for that, it comes, and then you don't want that. It comes in a way you don't like. But this is where I tell you guys, let this be an example, is you can sit there and affirm, and will they do the things that you affirm? Yeah. But will they do it in the way that you want it to be done? No. Well, I mean, yeah, technically, but because you're not persisting in perfect version of your SP. You're not describing them in a way that they would send you absolutely loving text. You're not describing them great. So therefore, you get empty text. So change that, bitch. Change it now, Casey. But also get excited at the fact that why wouldn't he have broken no contact? Why wouldn't he? Of course he didn't. So get excited about that. Get excited that he's texting you again, right? I told you guys should all get excited that they're texting you all the fucking time. They're constantly texting me. My God, yes. Hi, Jen. Just watched your YouTube video about your story with SP. Gonna start manifesting steps now. I definitely would, Roberta. I definitely would. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. We're going to go down memory lane real quick for all you newbies. Okay. Good. Manifesting in steps works really, really fast because it's really hard. I've had so many clients that have been trying to manifest their SPs back for years, like 1 to 2 years, because they're living in the end of marriage when you're in no contact. You're not living in the end of marriage. Okay. People just say, just decide, live in the end. as if you already have what you want. Yeah, that's great. That's great. But if you're in no contact, how the fuck are you living? That requires a whole nother set of delusion. Like, you have to take delusion up a whole nother level to really believe that you're married when you're not talking. So how about you live in the end of contact first? How about we do that? Because it's a lot easier to live in the end of contact. Then when you get contact, it's a lot easier to live in the end of we're spending a lot of time together. Then when that happens, it's a lot easier to live in the end of a relationship. And then when you're in a relationship, it's super easy to live in the end of marriage. But it's not that easy when your reality shows you the opposite. So that's what I would do. And hopefully my story inspired you. All right, so real quick, before we get into the rest of the questions, let's go down memory lane real quick in case you are new here, okay? Or maybe we should wait for it. We'll wait a little bit to let people trickle in. So, because I need you guys to understand what caused your breakup. And for those of you that have been here a while, you already know now, because that's my goal with you, is you must know you caused your breakup. You cannot blame everybody else because you live at the effect. If you're blaming your SP for things that they said, for things that they did, all of that shit, things that they're not doing, you're living at the effect. You're not living at cause. And if you live at the effect, it's impossible for you to ever get what you want because you don't believe it's your fault. Okay, so if you don't believe you caused it, then you're living at the effect and your subconscious mind cannot find a solution. Okay, that's the problem. This is why I hate when you guys are like, well, he did this, he said that, I can't get over this, and I can't get over that, and he needs to apologize. No, you need to look in the mirror and apologize to your fucking self. But you need to put yourself at cause, because when you put yourself at cause, it's putting yourself in the driver's seat of your own life. So when you know you caused your breakup, now your subconscious mind is like, oh, okay, so we're at cause, so we need to find a solution. We need to make up. We need to get back together. We need to find a solution for this. But if you're at the effect, your subconscious mind is like, well, it's not our fault, so there's nothing we can do about it. It stops trying. It stops looking for a solution. It doesn't need to because it's not your fault. That's not the vibe. Okay. How do I have to say affirmations if I'm being in the past very mean and rude with SP? Huh? How do I have to say affirmations if I'm being in the past very mean and rude with SP? I don't know what you mean by that, Alondra. So I'm trying to decipher this, which is why I read it a couple times. You should say your affirmations about what you want, okay? But you can't view being very mean and rude with SP. You can't, because he also has his assumptions of you. So if you were mean and rude to SP, if you're mean and rude to SP and that is how you think you are with your SP, then guess what he assumes about you? That you're mean and rude. And last time I checked, who the fuck wants to talk to somebody who's mean and rude? I don't. At all. I don't want anything to do with rude and mean people. Like, ain't got nothing to fucking say. What if I obtain a better version of SP than he retrograde, committed then lazy? Okay, SG. You obtain a better version of your SP, but then he goes from committed to lazy. I don't know. Those two don't go together. So it's like, I get he goes from hardworking to lazy. Okay. But how do you go from committed to lazy? If anything, it'd be like committed to comfortable, right? So if you want to expand on that, then I can go ahead and answer that question. But hey, Jessie, sister, but I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. And by the way, retrograde had nothing to do with you fucking manifesting your SP. Hey, Patriot Vibes. That's right, Lisa with the butterfly. Why is he so obsessed with me? You know, there's that song. That's all I know about the song, but my mind goes there. Hey, Lindsay, sister. Good, Patriot, because you know if you think about your wife constantly, she's thinking about you constantly too. You asked yesterday how I said that was a good thing, right? About court being delayed. Because here, but you also said something that you need to change, okay? You're still viewing court as no contact. I cannot talk to her until court is settled. That is not true. That is not true at all. You may not be able to contact her, but she can absolutely contact you. So you need to stop viewing it that way, okay? Because we want it all to work out. So while we're over here like, no, court's all worked out in my favor, right? Everything's worked out in my favor. While we're over here manifesting that shit, them delaying a court date is good. That's a positive thing. Because a lot of things work out when things get delayed. You have to understand that versus, oh, I know I need to rush through this shit. And then all of a sudden you rush through it and it doesn't pan out. No, you have to trust the process. Okay. So if it's delayed, then be like, that's a fucking amazing thing. You know why? Because it's getting all worked out. Yeah, it's getting all worked out. It's delayed because she's not sure. She doesn't want to go through with this anymore. She knows she made a mistake. And so they've got to work out the minutiae details. So that's why they had to go ahead and delay the shit. You know what I mean? No, birds before land is absolutely not necessary. Okay, Tori. It does not need to happen. Birds before land does not need to happen. No, not at all. Okay, we don't want to create assumptions that don't benefit us. Okay, so you don't want to create an assumption that doesn't benefit you in any sense of that word. However, you use birds before land like signs and synchronicities to motivate you, to move you forward. They should excite you. And so, because like I said, everything's a fucking sign. Everything is a sign. Everything's a sign. And so because nothing has meaning until you give it a meaning. So if you tell yourself that every time you see a fucking bird, that is because he's coming to be with me, then he will. Then they will. Because everything is a sign for you. Okay, signs and synchronicities, but do not say that if I don't see them, then that means it's not going to happen. That's also not true. That's not true. Okay, but it's something that should motivate you only. It should serve as a motivator, where when you see birds before land, you're like, oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's because he's in love with me. Yeah, that means my manifestation is here, bitch. Diane, you do vision boards. Sorry, guys, I have to work backwards because some people get out of control and then they have to be blocked and then the comments go all the way to the bottom. Why do they do that? I don't fucking know. Okay, you do vision boards. Is that good? Well, let me ask you this, Diane. Have you gotten what's on your vision board? Because I did vision boards too. But it depends on how you're doing the vision board. Okay, so if you're just looking up fucking pictures and words and putting that shit on a board and then hanging it up, that's not doing shit. That's not doing shit. Okay, because you didn't have to vision board your current situation, right? You didn't have to vision board your current life at all for it to manifest. Okay, so it's kind of like vision boarding is kind of like goal setting, in my opinion. The reason why goal setting doesn't work is because, first of all, who the fuck is going to decide that I got to wait till December 31st to get my shit? I don't want to wait that long. I don't want to wait that long at all. So I ain't waiting that long. So I don't do goal setting. Instead, I want it now. Okay. Because also the problem is if you date it, you won't see birds before land or movement until it gets closer to that date. And that's why people give up. That's why people give up, because they're not saying anything until it gets closer to that date. So if you have like a 2026 vision board, that's a problem. Second of all, vision boards only work if your thoughts align with your vision board. Okay. Like vision boards are great, but why do you think they call them vision boards? It's like, it's things that you want versus things that you expect, things that you have, right? So if you were to create a vision board, it should be a what I have board, not a vision. right? It should, and you need to come from the expectation of, yeah, I actually, and you can leverage a vision board. Okay. You can literally tell yourself, I already manifested everything on my vision board. I already manifested everything on my vision board. I literally have everything that was on my vision board already. Right. So you can leverage that. That's what I would do. It's kind of like how you can do a list method. The list method, and you can be like, I manifested everything on my list. I literally manifested everything on my list. Okay, so you can do that for the vision board. So that's what I would recommend you do for said vision board, since you already have one, is leverage it, right? But you have to tell yourself that you manifested everything on your vision board. You can't just look at the shit and fantasize about how you want that. You can't do that. So if you have like $1 million on your vision board, you have to align your thoughts with having $1 million without being a millionaire. Okay. What up, Shanzy girlfriend? Okay. So you have to align your thoughts with that of being a millionaire. If you don't, and you're still in lack and scarcity mentality, you can put all the money on the world on your vision board. It doesn't matter. It's not going to come because you are having still broke thoughts, still having lack thoughts. So it doesn't matter what's on your vision board. Okay. Because you have to identify as the person that has whatever's on your vision board. You have to identify with the version of you that has that already. Because then it comes to you, right? It comes to you because you're identifying as somebody who's wildly successful, somebody who has a lot of money. When you identify as, and it's not a hard switch to make, but when you identify as somebody like that, then that's where the magic happens. That's where the magic happens, because that's when all of a sudden all those things on your vision board start to come to fruition, because you're stepping in to the identity of the person that has everything on your vision board, right? So like you can have like weight loss on your vision board, like a perfect body on your vision board. That's great. But if you're hating yourself every day of the week and self-defecating on yourself and attacking your body every day, it doesn't matter how much shit on your vision board you have when it comes to weight loss. Doesn't matter. Does that make sense? So vision board is cool, but tell yourself every day that you manifested everything on your vision board. Thanks, Shanzy girlfriend. Or tell yourself every day, like, is whatever I put on my vision board comes to me immediately. Literally. Everything on my vision board manifests immediately. I literally just got everything. Or start chunking that shit off. Whatever's on your vision board. If you've got like $1 million, be like, dude, I'm a millionaire. I'm a fucking millionaire, right? Chunk that down. Chunk that off. Now you get that. Now you move on to something else on your vision board. I used to do vision boards. But for me, vision boards would take me forever to curate. You know why? Because I'm so ridiculous. I have to look. This is why I don't do slide presentations on, like, whenever I do master classes and stuff now. I don't do slide presentations because I will take days to make a slide presentation, only because I will spend hours looking for the perfect stupid picture. So I'm like, forget it. Forget it. I'm not doing that shit at all. And ironically enough, one of my old mentors took a page out of my book. And he's like, for the first time, I never did one. Of course, because you don't need them. Okay, so we can have blocks and resistance we don't know about. But then isn't that making and assuming there's a problem? There's a problem. Yes. Of course, I don't like, this is the problem though. So many people go digging for the blocks. Okay, because you're creating assumptions, and that's a good point, Haley, because you're creating assumptions within yourself. Everything that you do, you're creating assumptions. So it's like, I've been manifesting a text. I've been manifesting contact with my SP, and then all of a sudden, it's not working. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. I must have a block. Because that's what a lot of people talk about. You have blocks. I must have a block to this. Okay. But why do you have to go digging for the block? Why do you have to tell yourself that? Because until you find the block, it's not until you find the block, until you acknowledge and believe that you have found the block, your shit ain't coming. Because you believe that something is blocking you and SP. Something is blocking your manifestation. So until you have convinced yourself that that block has been removed, it's not going to come because you're creating an unnecessary circumstance, something that does not benefit you. So why the fuck would you want to do that? Do you think that in order for me to be successful, in order for me to make money, do you think that I went digging for fucking limiting beliefs around money? No. Did I have them? Yeah. 1,000%. 1,000%. Does that affect me having the ability to make money? No. Not at all. Not at all. You know why? Because I don't give a shit. Because I don't tell myself that. I don't tell myself I must have a limiting belief around money. That's why it ain't coming. I don't tell myself that at all. At all. Now, I used to have these, because you have to remember, everybody that you follow creates assumptions within you that benefit not you, but them. You understand that, right? So like if you're an entrepreneur and you're following all of these entrepreneurs, coaches, all these business coaches, you do know that it is their job to create assumptions within you because it benefits them, not you. They must create an assumption in you. Why? So you buy their shit. That's why. So you buy their shit. So they're the ones telling you that you need to have a viral hook. Yeah, you need to have a viral hook to all your videos because that's the key to going viral. Says fucking who? Says who? Oh, that's right. The person selling viral hooks. The person selling a viral video framework. They're the ones that say that. But I can show you dozens and dozens of people that have plenty of viral videos that they don't have a hook at all. Millions of followers, no hook. But they're not the ones selling that. The only people trying to tell you that you need this shit are the ones that are selling that service. Understand that. I just saw a video on YouTube and she was like, they're going to give you a confession. Your confession is coming. If you would like a confession spell from me, then well, why do I need a confession spell if they're going to confess to me by this weekend? Why would I need a confession spell? That was like the most condescending, contradicting thing in the world. Because I was like, how are you just going to tell people they're going to confess to you? But then all of a sudden, you're promoting a confession spell. Huh? That's why you guys got to be careful what you're consuming on said internet. Doesn't matter if you were the one at fault in your SP situation. No, it does not, Miss Granger. No, it does not. Well, 100% no, it does not, because every single person, kudos to you for acknowledging that, every single person in the world is at fault for their SP's situation, for your relationship situation. Okay. 100% you're at fault, but the fact that you're at fault understands that you can do the opposite, Okay. So yes, you can 100% still manifest them. In fact, it speeds it up when you realize that you're at fault, because if you caused it, then you know that you can cause the makeup, just like you caused the breakup, which we're going to get into in about 5 minutes. Okay. Mayrink. Do I prefer affirmations or askformations? I personally prefer affirmations. There's no right or wrong, but I'm just not going to go around and ask myself questions all day long. Okay. So instead, I prefer affirmations instead, but I prefer weaving in specific affirmations, but also umbrella affirmations too. Because who the fuck is trying to sit there and affirm their life away for every little thing when you can weave in umbrella affirmations? Okay. And in case you don't know what an umbrella affirmation is exactly that. It implies everything in that specific area. Okay. So you can say something like your SP's name. You do not need to say SP, by the way. You can say their name. You can say him, he. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But because your subconscious mind knows who you're referring to, okay? So you can sit there and say, every single one of you should say, my SP is the easiest for me to manifest. Brian is the easiest for me to manifest. Brian is the easiest for me to manifest. He always does everything that I affirm. Okay, that's an umbrella affirmation because he's the easiest for you to manifest. So whatever you want him to do, he does. Okay. I always get what I want and it comes to me immediately. An umbrella affirmation because it implies whatever it is that you want, you always get. Okay. Everything always goes my way. Umbrella affirmation. Isn't it wonderful? Umbrella affirmation. Everything in my life is perfect. Umbrella affirmation. Okay. Oh yeah. When I say he's the perfect boyfriend, umbrella affirmation, because instead of being like this is why I ask you to read your descriptions a couple times a day, but saying throughout the day, if you think about them not as perfect SP, saying he's the perfect boyfriend or perfect girlfriend is an umbrella affirmation because it's all the qualities that you have listed is who that person is, right? We have the best relationship is implying exactly that. That's an umbrella affirmation, okay? Because the best relationship, your subconscious mind knows what the best relationship is to you and therefore it pushes out. So those are all umbrella affirmations. Okay. Roberta, did you get signs also? What were your signs? Girl, everything was a fucking sign. Did I get signs? 1000%. Because I realized this is where we leverage the law, okay? Is I decided to get really good at leveraging the law what up, Terry, girlfriend? I decided to get really good at leveraging the law to work in my favor. And I started thinking about the videos that I've been watching and all of those things when it came to everything. And I said, who in the fuck decided that 111, 222, 444 are signs? Who decided that if I see an eagle flying through the sky, that's a sign? Who decided that if I see, my initials, my SP's initials on the side of the fucking wall, that's a sign? Who decided any of that? A person, right? So it's like, so if they decided that that's their assumption is that every time they see 222, 444, that's a sign. And so they had my stupid ass was driving around town hoping to sit at fucking red lights so I can look at all the license plates like a crazy lunatic. Looking for numbers, signs of synchronicity, all the ones that all these stupid law of attraction people are teaching you. Here's the top 12 signs. Who the fuck decided that? Who decided that? Oh, that's right, him. Because he wants you to come and watch his video for the next 28 days. A complete lunar cycle. He's the only person that says that. You should know who that is. In fact, ironically enough, he follows me on TikTok. Millions of followers, millions of subscribers on YouTube he has, and he follows me on TikTok. And I was like, you might want to come onto my lives. You might learn a couple things. But he'll do that. He'll be like, and if you have 4 out of 12 of these signs, your shit is coming. I made a video about that too. I said, the top signs, and you're going to really want to pay attention. And then right after my intro, it was like, everything's a sign. Yeah, because everything is a sign. You decide what signs are for you. So I don't want to go searching for the sign. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to go searching for the fucking sign because here's the thing. If you see all that stuff or you're looking, then that means you're looking for the sign, which means you don't have what you want. So instead, everything I saw outside, because I used to be at the pool a lot. Because, I wanted my boyfriend to see what he was missing. And so I used to be at the pool a lot. So everything was a sign. Every time I saw a butterfly, it was a sign. And I would give meaning to the signs. See, that's the thing. That's where you leverage the law. Because what the fuck is a sign? A sign of what? A sign of what? So you give meaning to the signs, but they don't tell you that shit either. They don't tell you that. They're just like, look for the top 12 signs. But if nothing has meaning until you give it a meaning, let's think logically here. If nothing has meaning until you give it a meaning, then what the fuck is 222? What's that meaning? What meaning is that? That's right. They know that's right because there's no meaning. It's just a sign. No, 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 no. That's where you leverage the law and say, okay, I'm going to give every sign I have a meaning that I want it to mean. So I see a butterfly. Yeah, that's because he's thinking about me. I see two butterflies together. Oh, that's because he wants to be with me right now. He'll do anything to be with me right now. Right? I saw his car. Oh, he's coming to see me. He's coming to spend time with me. Right? Whatever meaning you wanted to give it. Now, I'm not saying, now, please do not go and pick 25 signs and give 25 meanings. Because remember, it's repetition. Okay? So I would literally only have like one or two signs. I would only have, like, you could have dozens of signs. That's not what I'm saying. But I would give the meanings, maybe one or two meanings to all signs. To all signs. Okay? So it's like, you see one butterfly or one bird or anything like that, then it's like, oh, that's because he's thinking about me. He's absolutely thinking about me right now. Okay. And then, but then I also want one for movement, right? So it's like, I see two. It's like, oh yeah, that's my sign that he'll do anything to be with me right now. We're definitely getting back together right now. That's that sign. That's leverage. So decide what your signs are. Decide right now, what are your signs? What signs do I want to have? And I highly suggest that one of those signs is something you see often. Because it gets you excited. Even now, when I look at, first of all, I love butterflies. But even now when I see butterflies, or I'll see those falcons, because I saw them all the time, I still smile. Because those were my signs. Because I saw them all the fucking time. Every time I see I don't care if you got a rose bush right outside your front door. Cool. Every time I see a rose, that's because that's my sign. Me and my SP are getting back together right now. That's that sign. Everything's a sign. Every time I see a fucking barbecue, every time I see a flower, that means my SPs. You were in spring, bitches. Every time I see a flower, that means me and my SP are getting back together right now. Okay? So I highly suggest you do that. That is about leveraging. That's what we do here. We leverage the law. We make it work for us. So I'm not going to sit here and go look for a 222. I don't think I've seen not one of those type of things ever. I don't need to go looking for a 222 when I can go right outside and see a butterfly or go right outside and see a fucking bird. Just my 2 cents. What do I say in my mind when I find gutter trash back reacting with hearts to my SP's Facebook posts? Well, Nadine, stop stalking his page if you can't control yourself. And if you do see her reacting with hearts to SP's profile, just be like, you can, one, not know who that is. Like, your subconscious mind doesn't need to know who that is, right? But you could literally be like, oh, his cousin loves all his shit. His cousin likes all his stuff. Your subconscious mind doesn't know that that's gutter trash. Okay? Second of all, you wouldn't need to say anything if you're on his page and you were affirming the entire time you were on his page. You don't need to say anything, because I tell you guys, if you're going to go snooping and digging, then affirm the entire time you're on their page. Therefore, you don't have to flip shit because you were affirming the entire time. You saw something you didn't like, you'd be like, I don't fucking think so. I don't think so. Because I'm affirming. I don't have time to sit there and have an opposing thought if I'm affirming the entire time. But what I would encourage you to do is stop looking at who the fuck is liking his shit. Stop looking at his comments that are being left. It's one thing to look at their post. It's another thing to go looking at their comments. Or it's another thing to be like, 50 people liked that post. Who are the fucking 50 people? It's another thing to do that. Okay? On top of that, just because she hearts his stuff, let's think about you, Nadine. Let's think about you. Just because she hearts his comments or his posts doesn't mean shit. She could be doing exactly what you tried to do, get his attention. He could very much not even talk to her anymore at all, want nothing to do with her. But all she's doing is trying to force a 3D and get his attention. That's literally what she could be doing. Maybe she's taking a page out of your book, Nadine. Stop it. What happened to doing? Oh, Lisa, the time collapse. It's a timeline jumping. And I decided, I was on a coaching call this morning and she asked about it because she's going to be part of it. I was like, well, let's take a look. So we're going to do it on Sunday. Okay. Most likely after my live. We're going to do it on Sunday and it'll be on Zoom. Okay. You'll get the, I'll probably just fucking text you guys, period. Yeah. In case you guys don't know what she's referring to, I'm running a case study for a small group of people. Well, thanks, Diane. I love your energy too. I can feel it, girl. I can feel it. I'm running a case study for a small group of people. We did releasing your negative emotions. Oh, if you want the replay to that so that you can release your negative emotions and you get access to my WhatsApp community as well. Link is in the bio. It's only $20 and you get lifetime access to the replay. It should be automatically sent to you so that you can let the negative emotions go all the way back from the first time you ever experienced them. So that's no buildup. You have fresh emotions, no resentment, anger, hurt, fear, guilt, sadness over SP or anything else in your fucking life. Gone. Plus, if you have back pain or you have body pain, that often goes away too. Okay. But anyway, on there, I decided I'm going to do everyone has a timeline, including obviously your SP. So I'm going to do a case study on jumping timelines, jumping into your SP's timeline. I did this with my mother. I didn't have an SP at the time. So I did this with my mother who wanted to lose weight and wanted to eat healthier. And so I jumped into her timeline and I had told her to do something. And I called her on my way home. And because traveling from LA to Orange County it's only one county over. With traffic, you may as well drive from here to fucking Vegas, okay? It takes hours. So I'd rather, and the counties are connected. There's no land in between the two. So it would usually take an hour. It takes about 3 to 4. So, and I hate LA. But anyway, I would call her. I'd stop and get dinner and I'd call her on my way home. And I called her on my way home. And she was like, yeah, she goes, I was just reading labels. Like she never did that. She never did that shit before. And all of a sudden I remembered that I had jumped her timeline and I had told her something that had to do with that. And so then I was thinking about that the other day and I was like, oh, if I can get my mom to start reading labels randomly within hours of me jumping into her timeline, I want you guys to jump into your SP's timeline and get them to do something. Get them to do whatever you want them to do. How do you want them to think about you? How do you want them to be with you? All that stuff, you change their timeline. Okay, where you guys are together. It's very powerful. It's very, very powerful and works very, very fast. So I'm taking a very small group of my clients. You have to be my client in order for me to work with you on this. It's called a bonus. But I'm taking a small group of my clients and I'm going to do it with them because I want 100% success rate. So I'm going to refine and refine and refine the process until I have 100% success rate. Then, of course, if you're a part of my WhatsApp members only community, you will get access to that technique. How cool is that? Yeah, baby. I try to give you guys as much shit as I fucking possibly can to help you. How can I leverage my SP just getting out of a relationship and fearing he's not ready to date me? Well, okay, well, look at it this way, Nina. If your thoughts are in alignment with that, then he will tell you that. But you don't have to. You can leverage it by saying, like he just got out of a relationship so that we can be together. Like, he literally just ended his relationship so that we can be together, because he absolutely wants to be with me right now. He'll do anything to be with me right now. That's why he ended his relationship, right? He ended his relationship because he'll do anything for us to be in a relationship together right now. Whatever, however you want to word that. That's how I would leverage that, is by telling yourself that he ended that relationship solely so that you can be together. Because he will. People jump from one relationship to another all the fucking time. All the time. My boyfriend did. Oops. Yes, Jasmine. I will. Good, Diane. I definitely would leverage what the fuck did you say? Oh yeah, visualizing. If you are visualizers, then I would, as you fall to sleep, visualize the scene that you want. Doesn't have to be a long scene, because remember, it's repetition. So if you're visualizing a whole hour-long fucking scene, that, first of all, that hurts my brain. But I would pick a 5 to 10 second scene. Like, you like at the altar at your wedding, and you guys are putting each other's rings on. Or the wedding kiss, right? You may kiss the bride. Something like that. Very, very simple. 5-second scene. And you loop it over and over and over again. Like you're just playing the scene real quick, rewinding, playing the scene again, rewinding, playing the scene again. If gutter trash keeps popping up, do you think there is a self-limiting belief somewhere? Mindy, if it's the same gutter trash, then no. No. Because if it's the same gutter trash, then no, because what's happening is you're not breaking patterns. So it's still in the back of your mind. You get confirmation that gutter trash is gone, but somewhere in the back of your mind, you're questioning every time he's on his phone, if he's still talking to her, anything. You're still questioning if there's still something there, which is what brings her back or keeps her in your reality. Now, if it's different gutter trash, then it's not a self-limiting belief. It's your assumption of your SP. Okay, well, it could be both, but don't go digging, okay? It could be that you just don't feel like you're wanted by somebody, like people just don't want to commit to you, okay? Or it's your assumption of your SP that you feel he doesn't want to commit to you. He's a fuckboy. He just wants to be with other. He likes to just mess around, right? He like that. He's a womanizer. Whatever it is that you believe, is that could be exactly how it is between you, and that could be why there's gutter trash repeatedly, is how you're describing him, or how you deeply think, or what you deeply think about him. And unfortunately, it gets confirmed when it happens twice. It gets confirmed. And now we got a whole nother fucking assumption. And that's the problem. Okay? Okay. I struggle with anxiety, and I get fearful thoughts. What if my SP finds someone else? Mr. Worldwide. That's a common... I don't think it has to do with anxiety, to be quite frank. Okay. I don't think it has to do with anxiety. I think that's just a natural thought that people would have in general. Right? In general, is if you, sometimes you do get fearful thoughts the longer time goes by, because you're focused on time, right? And you'll think like, well, what if he finds someone else? What if they find someone else? Because, it's different if it's been a day, but when it's been, 5, 6 months, a year, things like that, that's why you get fearful thoughts that what if he finds someone else? What if your SP finds someone else? Because you're focused on the time that you haven't been together. But if you stop focusing on the time that you haven't been together and shift that focus to time, like as if it just happened fucking yesterday, and you don't focus on the time anymore, then things speed up. Then you wouldn't have that problem. Okay. Time creates more time. All of you need to stop thinking about the time. Well, it's been this long. It's been this long. It's been this long. I've been doing this for this long. I didn't do any of that shit. I didn't do any of that shit. I got tired of doing law of attraction because I literally was sitting at the pool hoping that everyone could shut the fuck up because I'm over here with my earbuds in, closing my eyes, and because I have sunglasses on, visualizing stupid bullshit. And I got tired of it. But I wasn't over here like, well, it's been 7 months and I haven't done shit. I haven't gotten anything. I didn't do that. I didn't sit there and every day be like, here we go again. It's been 3 months. Okay, it's been 3 months and a day. I didn't do that. I woke up and I did it. I woke up the next day, did it again. And then I realized this is wasting my time because it's not like I'm not seeing any progress here. But so I decided to do something different. But again, this is where I say you don't need to question anything because you may not see movement. That doesn't mean the shit isn't working. I didn't see movement until I started robotically affirming. I didn't see movement. But when me and my boyfriend started hanging out again, I got the confirmation that I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes the entire fucking time. The entire time. Because it wasn't the law of attraction crap that worked, but it was my assumption. Because you understand law of attraction will work for you if you assume it will. Tarot cards are, how are they? Any technique you do will work for you, but you have to assume it will. Love spells, they'll work for you, but you need to assume that it does because it's not the spell itself. It's your assumption that it's working, that it's going to work. It's not the technique, it's not the visualizing technique from law of attraction that works. It's your assumption that it is. That's what's working. It's not the technique itself. And that's where you guys need to go into this whole this conscious creation and be like, oh no, this is absolutely my solution. This is my solution. This is absolutely 100% going to work because that's what works. The assumption that this is it. This is fucking it. Okay. But I got confirmation that I had no idea what was going on behind the scenes. But because I had an assumption already about gutter trash, that was playing out the whole time. That was playing out the whole time. I just wasn't aware of that. Because I didn't go on, stalker vibe mode. Oh, no, I didn't. But I intentionally put myself in situations to get triggered. This is probably why I don't get triggered like that. This is probably why I literally, and that's my stretch to you, because this is why it's so easy for me to discipline my mind. Okay. When you guys will be like, it's so easy for you. Like, yeah, because I intentionally put myself in situations too, where you guys would have gotten way triggered. I didn't do that. I told you guys I would be at the pool every fucking day, even in the winter. When gutter trash was living there, do you think I gave a shit? Nope. I would walk by. I went on my walks for 3 hours. I don't even like walking for 5 minutes, by the way. I would walk for 3 hours on the walk path because the walk path, it's a beautiful path, don't get me wrong. But conveniently, the walk path is right in front of my boyfriend's balcony. Yeah. And I do that daily. So I'd find things to barbecue at the pool. Just so I could hang out there. Yeah. So I was at the pool. And so was former gutter trash. Do you think I ran away? No. But that's why I'm super able to discipline my mind. But you know why none of that triggered me? Because I know I'm a bad bitch. I know what I bring to the table. I know who I am. So none of that fucking shit triggered me ever. None of it triggered me. Because I know who I am. And so did he. And ironically enough, so did she. Because I know who the fuck I am. So, when you guys are going to go down Snoopville, why don't you guys focus on not getting triggered? That's growth. Because you don't think in your relationship things are going to trigger you. They are. They're going to try to. But you do this. Not today, bitch. Not today. Not today. Eden, no. She said, I've been manifesting my SP, but it's been difficult. Is it because of their free will? No. Well, that depends. I guess that depends. If you're going, no, absolutely not, because they don't have, free will has been distorted. The definition, in my humble opinion, humble, not so humble opinion, the term free will has been very distorted. Okay, in the fact that, like, does everyone have free will? Yes. It's like yes and no. Yeah, they have free will, but everything is an assumption in everyone's reality. In everyone's reality, whether they're aware of them or not, is irrelevant. Whether they're consciously manifesting or they're not is irrelevant. Okay, because they all have assumptions. Every one of them have assumptions. So every single person on the planet has assumptions. So they have free will? Yeah, but you're in control of their thoughts. The free will part comes into play where, like, okay, so like if you verbalize something to your SP, it becomes a command because you're verbalizing it to them. And no one likes to be told what to do. So instead, though, if you go in your mind palace and you control your thoughts, then it now becomes their idea. It becomes their idea. So yeah, they still have free will to do what you want them to do because it's their idea. It's not manipulation, right? Manipulation would be taking away somebody's entirely free will. But, and even not even that, everyone has free will, but it's their idea. It's their thoughts. You're just the guide, right? You're the tour guide and they carry it out. You're the director of your movie and they're carrying it out. They're playing their role. But it's still their idea. So I don't know where free will is getting highly, highly distorted over time and saying you can't take away someone's free will and you're not taking away anyone's free will at all. How do you take away someone's free will when they're deciding and making decisions? People make decisions based on a fucking commercial they see. Is the commercial taking away someone's free will? No. People make decisions based on social media. Is social media taking away people's free will? No. So free will has nothing to do with it, but where if it's been difficult, Eden, it's only because you're being conflicting in your thoughts. Okay, you're being conflicting in your thoughts. But yeah, it's weird that people are distorting the term free will. How do I persist when 3D is showing the opposite? SP refuses to hang out. Well, Steph, again, this all comes down to your thoughts, okay? So SP is still refusing to hang out, and that is because somewhere in your mind, you don't think they want to hang out. You don't think they want to see you, okay? And here's why I say that. Because you're most likely asking if he wants to hang out. Why in the fuck would he say, why in the hell would he just refuse to hang out? The only reason they refuse to hang out is because you're asking if they want to hang out and they're saying no. So you're saying, he's refusing to hang out with me. Okay. But that's the problem. You're asking if he wants to hang out with me, which means that you don't know he does. You don't think he does. So because of that, he says no. He's always going to give, his only job. Every one of your every person in your life has one job and one job only. And that is to confirm. Yes, you're right. 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 That's all their job is to do is confirm. Confirm, confirm. So when you ask a question, that means you don't know the answer. So they're going to confirm the answer you don't want to hear, because if you knew the answer, you wouldn't ask the question. Okay? If you knew he wanted to hang out with you all the time, if you knew that he wanted to see you and spend time with you, you wouldn't even have to ask. You wouldn't even have to ask. He'd be like, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Like, you got some time, want to come over, I want to hang out. He would do that because you believe he wants to see you. He wants to spend time with you. You wouldn't need to ask. But when you ask, you get an excuse or you get a, no, I'm busy, right? Because you weren't sure. Because if you were, you wouldn't have asked. So stop asking. Stop asking. Use his photo. Use the photo method and it tells us to come see you. You're coming to see me today. You're coming to see me today. You're coming to see me today. Cece, have I ever done a spell? Okay. Well, I have never paid for a spell. I'll be frank. I'll be quite honest. I was way too cheap to do that. I was like, is there a guarantee here? Because if there's no guarantee, I don't think I want to spend $200 on a spell. That's why I never got tarot. This is completely honest. That's why I never got tarot card readings, psychic readings, where they're going to draw your picture of your SP. I never got any of that shit because I was too cheap to pay for that shit. I was like, how much is that? That's why, that's why. Why do you think I don't charge as much as those fucking frauds on the internet charge? Because I was too cheap to pay for that shit. I was like, you know what I could do with $200 though? Where I know the guarantee, I can go get my nails done. Shit's still gonna be here. That's just how my fucking mind works. And so I was just like, no. Now, have I ever done a spell? Yes, I did. Not with this SP, not with my boyfriend, with an ex-boyfriend of mine. Did it work? I want to say yes, but then again, I wasn't consciously creating back then. You know what I'm saying? So if I was to go back in my mind palace, I think it did work. I did it, well, and which one? I don't fucking know, because I did like 3 different ones. But one that I did consistently is because that's the one I believe worked. But I would do ones where like you light a candle and you stare into the flame and you'd be like, powers of the universe. His name was Eric. Powers of the universe, bring Eric back to me. That is my will, so mote it be. And you say it 3 times. Try it out, guys. The other one I did, which I think it worked because I did it. Every time he would leave, I would do it and he'd come back like within like 48 hours. But again, I'm fucking cheap when it comes to shit like that. So I would like go on Pinterest. Pinterest got some killer spells. Thanks, MAD sister. I'd go on Pinterest and I would literally look for love spells that had the least amount of ingredients possible. Because I'm not going and buying. Because I always feel like it reminds me of this time when I was younger. And I went to the grocery store and I bought 1 apple. It was like 10 o'clock at night. I bought 1 apple. And the cashier was like, do you want a pen with that? In case you don't know why he asked if I wanted a pen with that, because that's what we used to, that's like the ghetto version, which is an amazing version of a pipe. And so I always feel like if I go and buy all these rando ass ingredients, that I'm going to get the one cashier that's going to be like, who's the lucky person you're casting a spell on, right? And again, because I'm too cheap, I was like, what do I do with all this shit? Like, so I had those little pillar candle holders, and you only need one. Then I had the candle, like I don't even know what kind of candle it is. It's like the thin ones, the long ones. And it has to be red. And then I had red yarn. And what you would do is you take a knife or something. I took a knife, and you write on the side of the candle, you would write their initials and your initials over their initials. And then you take, I think it was like vanilla oil or some shit, and you would rub it over your initials. And that's halfway down the candle, by the way. And then you would take a piece of yarn and you would tie like a bow over your initials. And then that's when you light the candle. You set the intention. You visualize your recipe real quick. And then you light the candle, and then that's when you stare into the flame and say, powers of the universe, bring SP back to me. That is my will, so mote it be. And you say that 3 times, and you let the candle burn until it gets to the yarn, and then you put it out. And then I was like, well, what do you do with the candle? Have you ever noticed they never tell you what the fuck you're supposed to do with the shit after? They'll be like, burn this. And I'm like, burn it and put the ashes where? How are you going to leave the cliffhanger? Where you're supposed to do with the shit when you're done, right? I saw that one about rice the other day, and I was laughing about it because everyone's like, what are you supposed to do with the rice? Do you eat the rice? What are you supposed to do with the rice? I was like, they never can tell you. So, but yeah. So there you go. It's very inexpensive love spell that you can do. I did it. I'm not going to lie. I did it. I wasn't doing any techniques because I didn't know anything about manifestation at the time. And so I did it, and he came back within, I think, like 48 hours. So, and I did it, I think, 3 times. So, but was it the spell that worked? Probably not. Now that I know what I did, it was my assumption of the spell. Like, oh, this is going to work. Found the one. This is going to work. So, I'm just saying. You guys can do that one right there. You can do that spell right there. And it's right there. It's going to cost you a whole, like, maybe if you go to Hobby Lobby, they sell the 2 candles in a dual pack. It's going to cost you like $5 for the whole spell. Who the fuck needs to spend thousands when you only need $5? Oh, man. Just saying, guys. Just saying. Trying to help you guys out. Give you all the stuff. And give you all the stuff. Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe, I don't know if Glitter Sparkles is on here. I don't think Mystical Willow is, because I think she's at work. Well, anyway, maybe someone can write Danielle down. Danielle will be a part of our case study, too. Oh, man. Well, thanks, Soul. I bet you're looking fabulous today, too. Just went through oh, God, Jack. Just went through a 3-hour meltdown with my dad because he told me that I need to stop mooping over SP. Well, Jacques, your dad is right. Your dad is right. Sorry. Hey, Convicted Chaos. I had a fantastic weekend, my friend. I had a fantastic weekend. But your dad's right, bitch. You need to stop moping over your SP. Stop moping. Pick your fucking head up. Remind yourself who the hell you are. See yourself as a bad bitch, and everyone else will see you as a bad bitch too, right, Chaotic? Right, Convicted Chaos? Okay, I had to fast forward through all the freaking comments, questions. So if your question was not answered, just drop it again. I'm giving you permission right now to just drop your question again because I had hundreds of them. Sorry, guys, and it's driving me nuts. It'll take me forever. Thank you, Bevy. Thank you, girlfriend. Just because of that, I'll let you jump timelines too, Bevy. Amric, I have a boyfriend, buddy. Do you just say your affirmations? Do you write them down as well? Tashay, I say them. I wrote them down though. Okay, so like I didn't write them down every day, but what I had is a notepad on my phone that had my sets of affirmations for the different things that I was manifesting in my life. So it had those. So I would read those. And then there's a time when you don't have to read them anymore. You just know what they are. So I would read those to myself. And I would affirm those. And then I also had my rampage on there too. Okay. So then I would rampage. Oh, I did the burning of the bay leaf. I did the burning of the bay leaf too. Although I did that one for money. And you know what? I'm still waiting for that shit. I did that for money. But I forgot about the bay leaf. But then again, it's like, it took me a while before I caught on that I should probably use tweezers, right? And so I would use tweezers and then I would get stuck because I was like, they didn't cover. There's certain things they don't cover when they're telling you how to do these spells. And I think that's wrong. I think that's fucking wrong. Because I'm like, they don't tell you, what do you do if the bay leaf doesn't burn all the way? So then I'm sitting here like, do I light it again? What do I do? What am I supposed to do if the bay leaf doesn't burn all the way? They should disclose this shit. Like, here's what you do. Here's how you handle these situations. Okay. I also wrote their name on a piece of paper 7 times. Yeah. And then sprinkled some sugar on it, sealed it with my perfume, and then burned that shit. That's like, what do you do with the ashes? Oh, man. I don't know, Mojito. But then again, they were like, do this with rice. I was like, is the rice cooked or is it not cooked? Why do you not say this shit? Hey, you know what? Hey, Sarah Elizabeth. I feel like you need to have I feel like it should just be fun. It should. The moral of the story is, do you, boo? And just do you, and just, you know what? Just have fun doing it. Have fun doing it. Play with your manifestations, guys. Play with them. It's supposed to be fun. What do I need to answer you about poor temps? I told you I fast forwarded through the comments and I can't see yours. Drop it again, bitch. I'm waiting for someone to make the news because they did a spell and it went horribly wrong. Right? Oh, man. Oh, man. It's right. He's going to come crying to you, Lisa. He's come crying to you, tears streaming down his face, confessing his entire love to you. Entire love to you. Okay, so I want you guys to do, I really want you guys to have, oh, if I'm scared and then I suddenly act like it isn't a big deal, it won't be a big deal, right? Yes, that is true. 4 times. That is true. What? Mojito, should I script my SP if he's low-key buns? What the hell is a buns? What is a buns? Roberta, did I truly believe that I could get my SP when I started this journey? No. No. The whole thing caught me completely by surprise, right? Now that I know what I know now, obviously I know I created it, but the whole thing caught me by surprise, but I was willing to try anything, right? Usually when we get started, it comes from desperation. It comes from lack, right? And so when we usually get started on the journey, it's all out of desperation, need, want, right? Like, I need this to work. I really need this to work, right? Because I want my SP back, and it always comes from desperation. This is why I understand where you guys are coming from, okay? Which is why I'm able to help you guys navigate through it, because I know where you're coming from, because I was there. And so usually it comes from desperation. And so you're just trying everything. You're trying whatever you need to try. So it's like if they say to do the water technique, I'm going to do the water technique. If they said to do this, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. What works, right? Because the first thing you do when you click on a video is what? Read the comments. You read the comments. And you're like, oh my God, this worked for thousands of people. For thousands of people that worked. Because entrepreneurs understand that comments are bought and paid for, okay? But most of mainstream society doesn't know that. They don't know that. Entrepreneurs know that because they're the ones paying for comments. Okay? And let me tell you, it's not cheap either. It's not cheap to pay for comments. Obviously, as you can see, I don't do that, okay? But the ones that have thousands of comments, you'll know if they paid for comments because they won't reply to the comment. So people will ask them, does this really work? Did this really work? What did you do? As if they didn't watch the whole fucking video. Because I'm like, what do you mean? What did they do? Watch the video. But they won't reply to the comment. Again, they won't reply to any of the comments because they're bought and paid for. They leave the comment, then they leave. They don't need to reply to any more comments. Okay? And so forth. So that's what they were doing. So that's the first thing you do is you read the comments, you get all excited because you're like, oh my God, this has to work for me because it worked for thousands of people. But you're not correct. You don't believe it actually will. So because of that visualization and stuff with law of attraction, that's why it doesn't work. Because unless you're going to sit there all day long and bunker yourself down in a fucking room and lay your ass in the bed and do nothing but visualize the same technique over and over again all day long, you're just trying things hoping that they work. Versus robotic affirming is controlling your thoughts and understanding your thoughts are what curated. So you don't have to believe it to say it, right? You don't have to believe it, because I don't think you believed that your SP was going to break up with you, right? That wasn't something you believed, but you said it. You thought about it. Therefore, it pushed out. Okay. And so because of that, that's why I say you don't have to believe. I didn't believe. I just said, okay, how the fuck I didn't do any of this shit to get my breakup. At some point, I felt like I looked really stupid to myself. I was like, when is this going to work? Why is this working forever? And then you think you're flawed, right? Because I was like, why is this working for everybody else but not for me? I was like, there's something they're not saying. And then that's when I started thinking about the breakup and realized that I caused all this and I didn't do that shit. I didn't vision board my breakup. I certainly didn't script my breakup. I didn't do the 3-6-9 method, the 55 by 5, the 33 by 3. I didn't stand on my fucking head and balk like a chicken. I didn't visualize the breakup. I did not sit there and do any of that shit. I did not whisper in a magic glass of fucking water that he's going to break up with me. I certainly didn't go the whisper method and creep into his bedroom like a stalker and whisper in his ear, you're going to break up with me right now. So why would I have to do any of that shit to get what I want? I didn't. I also didn't believe that he was going to break up with me either, but I said it. Okay, so if I didn't believe that I was going to get the breakup, then I don't have to believe this shit to get the makeup. But at some point, this is why I believe manifesting in steps, because at some point you have to know, and you have to create the assumption. But how do you do that? You start to see movement. You go from no contact to contact, and you're like, oh shit, okay. Well, now this is why things speed up, because you now believe that this works. You believe this works because you're like, oh shit, I just went from no contact to contact. This is legit. It's so easy for you to assume that this actually works, and so easy for you to believe that this works, that everything speeds up because you've now created the assumption. Because at the end of the day, you need to create the assumption. And I don't know why this is like this. Any suggestions on how to flip her parents deleting our wedding video on YouTube? You could tell yourself the opposite, Patriot Vibes, and just tell yourself that, like, no, actually they just got it redone. Like, they literally just reposted our wedding video on YouTube. Okay. It actually might not be taken off of YouTube. It might have just been moved to private. It's manifest for, I did both. This is where I'm saying you don't have to. Your subconscious mind is going to be like, hold on a second, you're fucking contradicting yourself, okay? You're saying one thing, then you're saying the opposite. I'm confused. You are very much contradicting yourself. It doesn't do that. So part of my core affirmations that I would say all the time was, he'll do anything to be he'll do anything to be with me right now. He'll do anything to be with me right now, okay? And then, and the reason I said that one is because, well, I wanted him to do anything to be with me, but also because gutter trash was in the picture. Okay, so that took care of both of those. On top of that, I didn't have to worry about the how. Okay, but I also would say in my, and this is entirely, there's no right or wrong way to say this, okay? But sometimes people have a hard time with the notion of we're together when we're not, okay? So instead, I would look at his photo, like I tell you guys to, and I'd say, we're getting back together right now. We're getting back together right now, though, is the key word. We're getting back, or keywords. We're getting back together right now, okay? So therefore, it implied absolutely 100% fact. This is happening right now, okay? So see what I'm saying? So I said, he'll do anything to be with me right now, but I also said, we're getting back together right now. Okay. But then I also would say certain things like, we have the best relationship. You know what I mean? So it wasn't, there was no right or wrong. Some people think, well, if I say two things and it cancels out the other. No, it fucking doesn't. Your subconscious mind's going to be like, well, you know what? You're saying that we have the best relationship. They have the best relationship, but you're also saying we're getting back together right now. So we're just going to cancel out the getting back together right now because, you know, you're saying you have the best relationship. Subconscious mind doesn't do that. It doesn't fucking do that. So it wouldn't matter. Shanna, the rampage is where you take, it's more like story mode, if you will. A rampage for me implies exactly that, like, motherfucker, right? Like, that's like a rampage. They're on the, like, because people be like, oh, don't go in there. She's on a rampage. You know what I'm saying? Which means that she's like freaking out. So I think it's like more like a story mode. So basically, instead of worrying about having 25 affirmations, you have 3 to 4 affirmations that imply you have exactly what you want, right? That imply that you are getting what you want. And those are the main sets of affirmations that you have. But then you have a rampage that is several different affirmations all in one. So it would be something like, I would have my core affirmations. That's, he's so obsessed with me. I'm all he ever thinks about. He's always calling and texting me. He's constantly spending time with me. He'll do anything to be with me right now, right? Core affirmations. Then a rampage, I would say once or twice a day. And it would be those core affirmations, but then it would be like, he texts me good morning every single day. He is constantly spending time with me. He will do anything to be with me. He literally cannot stop thinking about me. He wants to be with me he wants to live with me. He wants to marry me. I'm the love of his life. He wants to be with me forever. So it's like you have another dozen affirmations that all go together. So it's more like what you want, the whole picture, multiple steps at the same time. Because what you'll notice is that your SP will start to do the things in your rampage too. Why? Because you're not giving it another thought. You're literally just saying those aren't your main focus. Which is why I tell you guys you should all have a rampage. That's not your main focus because you don't think about it again and again and again, right? So you have your core affirmations because we want those to be we want that repetition so that it gets in there, right? But then you have a rampage that you only say once or twice a day. You don't think about it again. So it would be, for me, it was like, he's so obsessed with me. I'm all he ever thinks about. He's always calling and texting me. He texts me good morning every single day. He's constantly spending time with me. He'll do anything to be in a relationship with me right now. He worships the ground that I walk on. He treats me like a queen. He literally cannot imagine his life without me in it. I'm the love of his life. He wants to live with me. He wants to marry me. He wants to be with me forever. He wants to spend the rest of his life with me. Okay? So it was like the whole roadmap for our life, okay, in my rampage. Because then what would happen was he would start to do the things in my rampage. He would start to text me good morning every single day. And I would know that it was my rampage. I would know it's my affirmation because it'd be like 2 p.m. and he'd text me good morning, even though I know his ass was awake 5-6 hours ago, right? Then he told somebody that he's never going to not talk to me. He's going to talk to me forever. Like he literally is I'm going to be in his life forever. That is, he can't imagine his life without me in it. See what I'm saying? So there's he starts to all of a sudden, now he's constantly talking about our future, right? Because that's in your rampage. So there's all those different things that you have in your rampage itself. And because he'll start to do those things too. Absolutely. Absolutely. You can add to the rampage as time goes on. I prefer to keep it nice, short, sweet, and to the point. I had like maybe 15 affirmations all at once that I would just rampage and I would read it to myself. Okay. I would just read it. You can say it out loud if you want. If your thoughts are spiraling, you need to say your affirmations out loud because you cannot think a thought and speak at the same time. Which is why when people will be like, they'll talk to like, let me think about that. They'll literally say that, right? Or you have to stop talking to think. Which is why you can tell by eye patterns if they're lying to you or not. But I'm not going to teach you guys that shit because you guys get too triggered any fucking way. But if you want to know if your children are lying to you, you'll know based on their eye patterns. If they're thinking about something, where do you look? Up. But you also look a specific direction when you're recalling information versus making shit up. Mm-hmm. And oftentimes it's based on if they're right-handed or left-handed. But if you want to know if your child's lying, ask them 3 questions. Don't tell them why. Say, hey, I have 3 questions to ask you. And ask them 2 questions, or say, tell them, it could be something like this. It could be like, name 3, and make it a joke with your kids. Be like, I'm a human lie detector. And they'll be like, really? Be like, yeah, you want to test it out. And then you can, let's say you go on annual vacation. Say, I want you to say 3 places we've been on vacation. One of them is a lie. Okay. Or I want you to say 3 of your stuffed animal, the types of stuffed animals you have. One of them is a lie. Okay. And they will say the three, you're looking for eye patterns. Okay. They will say like, they'll be like, like three names of your stuffies. One is a lie. They'll be like, Tommy, Jack. And then they will look to the other side. They will look the opposite side when there's a lie. That's how you'll know. That's how you know that was a lie. And you'll be like, oh, I know which one is a lie. They'll be like, which one? You be like, Robert. And they'll be like, oh, how did you know? You're like, because I am a lie detector. So if you think as a teenager you're going to get away with lying to my ass, come again. Come again. But the only reason why you do that as a test is because you need to know which direction their eyes move when they're lying to you. That's why you do the tester. Because do not do this on your SPs. Only do this on your fucking child, okay? Just do it for fun. But because you need to know which direction they point as a lie. So then if you ask them a question and your kid looks that direction, that's their lying direction, then you're like, I know you're lying to me. I wrote a whole book on it, lie detection, eye patterns. It's actually eye patterns and the way they recall sequences of events. If they're making this shit up, we'll just have a quick lie detection. But I swear to God, don't use this on your SPs, okay? This is just for fun. Funsies. You'll know if they're making up events because you'll be like, what did you do today? They'll walk you through exactly what they did today, step by step. So pick a step and be like, oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else. What did you do after you went to 7-Eleven? If they're telling you the truth, they should be able to pick up from that point on. If they're not telling you the truth, they have to start the whole day all over again because that's how they rehearsed it in their mind. Okay, they rehearsed the story from A to Z. If you call out, what did you do after point D? They got to start all the way at point A because they're making the shit up. Yeah, I wrote a whole book about it. Little Italy, can you manifest too much and push the SP further away? No, that doesn't make any sense. No. Now, you're not pushing the SP further away. The only way you're doing that is by forcing the 3D. That's the only reason you ever push your SP further away is by forcing the 3D. Or because think about it, if your SP is like in no contact, right? Like let's say you and your SP are in no contact. How the fuck are you going to push them further away? Yeah, well, I don't think it gets any further than that. Okay, so you're not going to push them further away. The only time they go further away is if you force a 3D because it's a repellent. Okay, but the only way you can't manifest too much. No, the only thing that you can do is put too much resistance on it. Too much resistance on it. Which is why I tell you guys that I want you guys, every day you guys should be doing something. You guys should be doing something that makes manifesting fun every single fucking day. So literally it could be something so simple like where you are, I have a sample. Oh, I gave the Rampage already, MVP, but it's also in the WhatsApp group in the affirmations help. I think it's pinned to the top. Might not be anymore, but it's in there. Yeah, Jackie, exactly. You know exactly when someone's lying to you. All you need to know is which direction their eyes move when they lie. Now, they can't hide shit. Your children can't. All right, shit. Oh, no, Diamond, we have not. I get distracted. Okay, Elena, you manifested SP's motorcycle arriving this week, today. Oh, good. Now he has to ask me to go get it together. Yeah, he's going to. Elena, he's going to be asked, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? There's no one else he'd rather go pick up his motorcycle with but you, bitch. He's going to ask you today to go. He wants and then he's going to go he needs you to go take him to go get his motorcycle, but he needs you guys to take an Uber because, you know, he's going to ride home with you on that bad boy. Roberta, based upon where you're currently at, that just decide and act as if you already have your desire. It's a lot easier said than done. Can you do that? Sure, you can 1000% do that. But is it easy? It depends on your current situation with your SP. Okay, it depends on your current situation with your SP. Can you just decide and live like you already have your desire? Yes. But you need to discipline your mind because you wouldn't be thinking about how hasn't contacted you. You wouldn't be focusing on time. You wouldn't be looking for movement. You wouldn't be checking the 3D. You wouldn't be thinking about him in any negative way. You wouldn't be thinking about an absence in your relationship. You see what I'm saying? You wouldn't be thinking of any of that if you were truly living as if you already had your desire. You wouldn't think any of that. So if you are, you're not living in the end. Okay? But like I tell people, you should be living in the end, of the first step. And you should just decide that this is absolutely working and it's working for me right now and I get what I want. I get it when I want it. Yeah, I've decided that shit. So SP and I are not in no contact, but we aren't exclusive and lied to me about gutter trash. Hey, pretty girlfriend. Lied to you about gutter trash. Okay. Oh, you're still going. I called him out and he said he didn't want a relationship. I don't accept that outcome. We talked though, how to recommend his push-pull. Well, Shayna, first of all, what you're going to stop doing is calling him out on shit. You don't need to call him out on anything. Okay? And somebody just asked right here, Mojito, how do you force a 3D? Exactly that way. You find some shit out and then you call them out on it. How did you think that was going to go? What kind of benefit did you want from that? That's forcing the 3D, is calling him out on it, expecting what? For him to be like, absolutely not. Well, then you would have, if you already felt him lying about it, calling him out wasn't going to solve anything. It wasn't going to solve anything when you could have changed it in your mind, okay? You're not exclusive. And he says that he doesn't want a relationship. Yeah, because you, in your mind, don't think he does. Okay? You, in your mind, don't think he does. So, because you found out about gutter trash, okay, you found out about all this stuff, so obviously you don't think that he wants to be in a committed relationship with you, because why would he be with somebody else? Okay, and then you probably are verbalizing this shit to you because people don't sit there. Y'all need to understand one damn thing. They don't sit there, call you up one day and be like, hey, by the way, it's not like you're going to answer the phone. They're going to make, hey, Shayna, so I just wanted to let you know, I don't want to commit a relationship right now. Okay? All right, cool. Talk to you later. Bye. That's not how that works. That is not how that works. They only said that because you were talking about it. I have somebody right now in my inbox that forwarded me a message from her SP, and I said, that's because they don't just say the shit out of the fucking blue. They don't say that out of the blue. They say that because you keep talking about a relationship over and over and over again. Or maybe you've only said it once and now they're like, I don't want to commit a relationship. Of course. Haley. Because my phone, bitch, is what I'm using for TikTok Live. But I have to take my phone out of the case. Yeah, I just have an empty phone case in reach. Okay, so you have to understand that they did not sit there and come out the woodworks with the shit. That's not how that works. But if you sat there and said, in your mind, you have to see him as wanting a relationship with you, as wanting to commit to you. When you see that and just tell yourself that shit, live in delusion, and just lie to yourself and be like, he absolutely wants to commit a relationship with me. Why wouldn't he? Yeah, he wants nothing more, and start identifying your relationship as exclusive. We'll start there, and committed relationship. He has to push that out too. Stop looking for your SPs to confirm, because they're always confirming. You don't need to ask them a goddamn question, because you're gonna get the answer you don't want. I don't ever ask a question that I don't know the answer to, or that I don't want to hear the answer to. Look at it that way. Never in life would I don't ask that question, ever. To my boyfriend, I'll never ask a question that I don't know the answer to, because you wouldn't ask the question if you knew, and that I don't want to hear the answer. Because I don't know, I don't want to hear the answer that I don't want to hear. So instead, I'd rather get clear on what I do know. Yeah, you should do that. You should do that. You guys do know that you're the ones creating. You guys are wasting a lot of time on bullshit. You guys waste a lot of time on bullshit. I don't have time. Exactly, Jesse Messy. That's why living in the end is unrealistic advice if you're in no contact. It is, because you have to make a lot of shit up. You have to live in complete delusion, and people can't even live in delusion of text message, let alone marriage. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little more difficult. It's a little more difficult. Stop. That's why when people started taking my advice, and manifesting back in steps, they're starting to get movement. Okay. They're starting to get movement. Why? Because they're taking my advice and going in steps. Hey, Mystical Willow. Okay, because that's where you'll see a lot more progress. You'll see a lot more movement, because you're manifesting in steps. Like I said, how can you live in the end of marriage or relationship if you can't even live at the end of contact? That makes zero sense. Of course, I missed you, Terry, girlfriend. Okay, that makes zero sense. All right, so since people are new here, let's go down memory lane. Since I get a lot of new people here, I need you guys to see where you're going wrong. What caused your breakup, okay? And then we're going, no, NYC, I did not see your message. Because I need you to see what caused your breakup, so you understand you caused the makeup. So we're going to go down memory lane. Then we're going to go ahead and do the cord cutting and photo method. All right. All right. So now, when you first got with your SP, things were great in your relationship, right? Things were great. They were checking all the boxes. Everything was fantastic, amazing. And so your relationship escalated rather quickly, right? You went from exchanging phone numbers, talking all the time, to constantly spending time together, to relationship. Things happened very smoothly, very quickly, very effortlessly. Okay, because you're in the feel good vibe that this is like my person. This is like everything is perfect with us. He's great, right? Nothing but compliments. Okay, then all of a sudden you have a disagreement. The disagreement turns into an argument, and the only reason it turns into an argument is because you ladies can't shut the fuck up. You are constantly needing to prove your point. Like, you need to understand where I'm coming from. The more I yap, you'll understand where I'm coming from, and you'll see my point of view. And so then the argument stops. But in here, it doesn't stop. It continues. And you're bitching because all you can think about are the things that they said during your argument. Okay, that's all you can think about. is the things that they said and how they treated you and all that. And so the argument continues here. Then some of you will go back for round two, like, oh, I'm not done. I got more to say. Okay. If you don't, what happens is all of a sudden you're calling your bestie, your mom, anybody that will fucking listen, talking about what an asshole he was. Okay. Then you sweep things under the rug. You move on with your relationship. You move forward. And then you guys are back on track. Everything's great. And then all of a sudden you have another disagreement. And the disagreement turns into an argument and goes exactly the same way the first time did. Okay. And so over the course of your relationship, it starts to get a little bit rocky. Okay, it starts to get a little rocky. Your disagreements start to happen a little bit more frequently. And at some point in your relationship, you start to not even recognize the person that you met initially. A lot of you will even verbalize that to your friends or to yourself and say, I don't even recognize this person anymore. He's changed. They've changed. They're different. Things aren't how they used to be. That's why, because over time, every time you had a disagreement, every time you had an argument, you selected a different version of your SP. And as those arguments started to intensify, your negative perception, the version of your SP, the one that you don't like, started to also amplify. So therefore, you're now describing them very differently than you were in the beginning of your relationship. Now you're telling people like, he's really disrespectful. Like, he's really disrespectful. He's so mean to me all the time. He's this, that, and the third. And now he has to continue to be that version because that's the version of your SP that you're describing him as. So towards the end of your relationship, so now your relationship is on the decline. And towards the end of your relationship, you're questioning your relationship altogether. You're questioning how he feels about you, how you're, does he even like me anymore? Does he care about me? Does he still love me? Are we going to break up? Are we good? Right? Some of you will even ask them. And then the breakup. So then after the breakup, well, that's when things get spicy. Because now you're like, I just need to talk to him. Oh my God, if I can just get 10 minutes, if he'll just talk to me for 10 minutes, I can convince him that that we can make this work. We can make this work. We'll get back together. I just need to talk to him. So let me call him 55,000 times. And then if he doesn't answer those, I'll call him from a private number because he might not know that that is me. And then if he doesn't answer, and then while I'm doing that, let me also blow his text messages up. I'll send him 55,000 more text messages on top of that. And then if he doesn't answer those, I'll go ahead, and it's not a big deal. I'll go ahead and I'll move on to social media. I'll start liking and hearting his stories and his posts because maybe I'll get his attention that way. And if he doesn't answer those, I'll slide into his DMs because maybe he'll answer me then. And then on top of that, some of you guys take it to the extreme and you're going to I'm just going to pop up. Let me just pop up at his house or his job. Well, how did all that work out for you? Not very well, right? Because every time you forced the 3D after your breakup, all you did was push him further away. I don't know who's sounding desperate, Marlene, but it ain't me, bitch. I was describing a relationship, not mine. Okay. So anyway, so that's what that's what happens. So you tried and tried and tried to save your relationship, and all it is would push you. This is why you're in no contact. This is why some of you are blocked. This is exactly why. Because you selected the version of your SP you didn't like, and then you tried to change it over and over and over again. And all you've done is try to force the 3D. And it doesn't work that way. Towards the end of your relationship, you questioned your relationship. And that is why the breakup happened. You caused it. You also caused the version of your SP that was at the breakup. They didn't cause it. You did. Okay. Through your thoughts. You also chose the version of your SP that was disrespectful, mean, rude. Well, what? How did you want them to behave? All you've done is question your relationship. But the good thing is, because you caused the breakup, you can cause the makeup. All you have to do is exactly what you did to cause the breakup, but the opposite. Select the version of your SP that you want and expect them to be for you and only you. And then focus your thoughts on what you want instead of what you did before, and focus on everything you didn't want, and then were shocked and amazed and saddened that you got exactly what you didn't want. But that's what your focus was. And that's what a lot of you guys continue to focus on. Everything not being how you want it to be. Them not being who you want them to be for you. Them not doing the things that you want them to do. You can't do that. You can't do that anymore. You have to only see the best in them. You need to go back to the time in your, just compare. Just compare. Don't take my word for it. Just compare. The beginning of your relationship. How would you have described him? Not who he is now, but the beginning of your relationship. How would you have described him? And how was your relationship? Now, the end of your relationship. How would you have described him then? And how was your relationship? Or lack thereof? Now, how are you continuing to describe them? This is where you're honest with yourself. I didn't say how you want to describe them. I said, how are you describing them right now? Are you bitching in your fucking mind? Are you saddened by the things they're not doing? Are you coming from a place of wanting them to do this? I want them to do this. I need this. I need this. I want this. I want this. I want this. Because that's nothing but desperate energy. Or are you coming from the place of queen energy, king energy, and saying, no, I will get what I want because I'm that bitch. They can't stay away from me. Why? Because I'm addictive. Who the fuck can stay away from me? For what? I don't think so, right? I'm addictive. They can't stay away from me because I'm the love of their fucking life. And they know they'll never, ever meet anyone like me. You know, if you actually believe that, then gutter trash wouldn't be a problem. What would you have to worry about gutter trash for? Like, she only wishes she could be on my level. She's nothing compared to me. I was never threatened by gutter trash. Ever. Ever, ever, ever in a million fucking years. First of all, there's always that saying that they're a downgrade, right? They are. Gutter trash is always a downgrade. Looks-wise, but in every other category too. There was nothing to compare to. Threat? I don't think so. Have you seen me? Have we met? I don't think so. So because of that, they become jealous of you. Because you're everything they're never going to be. Yes. Doesn't even matter. Because they'll never be on your level. Ever in life. They only wish they could be anywhere close to your level. But that's never going to happen. So, there's that part. Right? What they say? The person they leave you for is always a rebound. Yeah. It's not real. It's not real. They don't have real feelings for that person. They don't. They're telling themselves they do to try and make themselves feel better. But if you think that gutter trash has anything to do with your relationship or is going to stand in between you and your relationship, no. Why on earth would you even consider that? If you're threatened at all by gutter trash, that means because you see them as above you. And they're not. In any sense of that word. At least in my life. Nothing compared to me. And she never will be. I mean, you can't, what do they say? Can't turn a hoe into a housewife? Just say. Anyway. And I'm not the one that even called her that. So, everything seems so great. And he, whoa. James, I love you, buddy. After seeing each other, he rejected my thoughts. He reflected my thoughts. I know. I know, Roberta. That's how quickly things happen. People think that thought transmission is like this long, drawn out process where it's like, okay, they're going to get my thoughts in like probably about 7 days. No, they're not. They get your thoughts immediately. Okay? Immediately. I mean, when you pick up the phone, yes, Haley, my empty phone case. When you pick up the phone and you call somebody, do you sit there and wait for an hour before it connects the fucking phone line? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Instead, it automatically connects right away because that's thought transmission is the same thing. It's boom, it's instant, it's instant, it's instant, it's instant, over and over and over again. So when you have a negative thought about SP, when you're putting out something about SP or a thought that you want them to do, it's instant, but it's instant. And then instantly you're given a mixed signal, right? Is right now your signals to your SP are being completely crossed. It's like 1 minute it's a great signal. The next minute it's not a signal. The great signal. Next minute, not a great signal. Marlene, it is not. Why would I put down the other? Because it's a reality. And it's not low energy thinking, actually. That's called boss energy thinking. Do you think for a second that owners of companies think that their employees are better than them? Do you think that in a million years? No, they don't. Not at all. Do they think they're equals? No, they don't. Not at all. So you concentrate on your journey. Yes, I concentrated 100% on my journey, but I'm going to help the process along. This is called a confidence thing. This isn't low energy. This is queen energy, king energy. There's a confidence level. If you walk around thinking that everybody's better than you, what's that say about you? So no. And I don't need to put anybody down at all, but I will leverage the law all day to work in my favor. But I don't put people down. Not at all. I don't have to. Why don't they always act as you want? Is that because your fears put them off? AJ, we'll call you AJ. Oh, Hidara. We'll call you Hidara. That's right. How do you manifest your SP when your self-concept is so extremely bad? Self-concept does play a part in manifesting your SP. It does, but it is not everything. It is not everything. Okay. But you have to remind yourself that typically when people are manifesting their SP, it's what's it called? It's somebody you know, right? It's an ex usually. And so because of that, your self-concept is not, you have to remind yourself that they dated you already. Okay. So you don't have to have a stellar self-concept, but all you have to do simply is remind yourself that they already dated you. They already thought you were a bad bitch. Or they would have never gotten in a relationship with you before. They would have never dated you if they weren't interested in you. So you have to remember that. And so that's what I would remember. Okay. And then work on self-concept. But self-concept isn't like this huge thing. Okay. Self-concept isn't this huge thing where you have to be like, I need to work on all these self-concept affirmations. You can literally this is where umbrella affirmations come into play. You can literally tell yourself, I am perfect. I am perfect. That's an umbrella affirmation implying that you're fucking perfection. Top notch. Okay. You can even tell yourself, I have a great self-concept. I literally have a great self-concept. Another umbrella affirmation. So you don't necessarily have to affirm 25,000 things when it comes to self-concept. Okay. Yes, Amanda, leveraging the law. That's what we do here. We leverage the law. So by leveraging the law is saying, okay, if everyone is you pushed out, that doesn't just apply to my SP. right? It applies to everybody in my life. So if everybody is me pushed out, then that means gutter trash is also based on my assumptions of her too. So is his family are also based on my assumptions too, right? All of these things. So how can I leverage that to work in my favor? So let's say like you don't think one of his family members likes you. Well, that's going to be true for you. Doesn't matter how much you charm him. Doesn't matter what you do. If you think that that family member does not like you, they will never like you. Doesn't matter what you do for them and how much you try to turn on the charm, they still won't like you. That's because they're based on your assumptions. So then you say, okay, well, if everyone's based on my assumptions, including his family and everybody else, I love you too, Erica, girlfriend. Then it's like, okay, then I'm going to leverage this shit. So everybody in my SP's life, they absolutely love me. They think I'm the best thing since sliced bread. They think that we are perfect together. And they tell my SP that every single day. So now you're leveraging everybody in their lives to talk about you to your SPs and to be your number one fan. Okay. And now I gave like 10, 15 different examples on leveraging the law. Same thing with signs and synchronicities. Birds before land is if you know that that's a thing, then how do you leverage that? Well, everything's a sign. Make up your own signs and on top of that, don't just make up the signs, give the signs a meaning. What does that mean for you? That makes it work for you. Then that's exactly what will happen. Okay. All these different things like that. So if you know thought transmission's a thing, well, then how do I leverage thought transmission by making it work for me? Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and, what's it called? Oh, then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I only pass the thoughts that I want to my SP, but also know that they're receiving everything. Also, if everyone is you pushed out, that's not one direction. That doesn't mean that he's only showing up in my reality based on my assumptions of him, but that also means that I'm showing up in his reality based on his assumptions of me. So if that's the case, this is where self-concept comes into play. How do I want him to see me? What do I want him to assume about me? Do I want him to assume based on your last encounter with each other? Do I want him to assume that I'm a crazy, raging bitch and unstable and unhinged and have anger issues and I'm a stalker? Is that what I want him to think about me? Because that's based on our last encounter. No, or how I handled the breakup. No, I don't want him to think that at all. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my assumptions of me as a person because I must show up in his reality that way too. So I'm going to sit there and start saying to myself that I'm a bad bitch. Like I know I'm the best girlfriend anyone will ever have. I know how to treat a man. All of these different things, right? And so therefore, now they're seeing that in you too. Because that is your assumption of yourself. We forget what we assume about ourselves. So what do you want to assume about yourself? Thanks, Shanzy girlfriend. What do you want to assume about yourself? We need to remember that. No. All I saw is he sees you as his best girlfriend. Yeah, I'm the best girlfriend anyone will ever have. I'm a once in a lifetime girl. Woman. Yes. We're getting off topic. Well, we're not getting off topic, but we need to do the shit. Okay? Okay. So, I want you guys to all get in a nice relaxing place. We're going to cut the energy cords, okay? Because we don't want to... Oh, and then I'm going to give you guys a task that I want you guys to do to prove your innate power, okay? To prove your innate power, okay? Yes. And, oh yeah. If you're interested in having me, I am obviously your manifestation best in case you're new here. And I teach you how to leverage the law of assumption to work in your favor because that's what this is all about, leverage, you know. We play to win. We play chess, not checkers, okay? And obviously we know the most powerful piece on a chessboard, and that is the queen, okay? So, or if you're a dude, fine, James, it's the king. And Patriot Vibes, it's the king. But if you're interested in having me manifest for you, or you want one-on-one coaching with me so that we can figure out where you're going wrong so you can get it right, I manifested my SP back from no contact to living with me in a matter of 4 weeks. I'm here to help you do the same. Oh, yes. Lefarius, my bad. And Steve, oh gosh. And there's a George on here. I'm so sorry. All men. All right. So get in a nice comfy place. We want to wash the energy between you and your SP so that it's nice and it's fresh, okay? And that you can really, because what's going to happen is this. When you have nice, fresh energy with your SP, they will think about you. Your SP will think about you in a very short amount of time. However, this time when they think about you, it will be different. They will think about you in a different way, where they will notice that something is different. Something is different. And that's the magic. Okay, that's the magic. All right. Okay, so I did this with an ex-boyfriend of mine who I was not into manifesting back then, or consciously, but I hadn't talked to him in over 8 years, and he contacted me within 72 hours. Okay, and was like, "Hey, I was just thinking about you. I want to see how you're doing." That's exactly what's going to happen. Is they're just thinking. All of a sudden, they were just thinking about you, but this time, it's different. Okay. All right, so I want you to get in a nice, comfy place, and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to take 3 deep breaths in with your nose and out with your mouth. And I want you to imagine that you're in a dark amphitheater. It's nighttime. It's dark outside. And you're sitting in the middle of these in the middle of this amphitheater. In front of you, there's a giant stage. And on this stage, there's a single stage light that goes from the ceiling down to the center of the stage. I want you to focus on that light right now. And as you focus on the stage light, you start to notice that you're not alone. In fact, you can see off in the back of the stage, out of the light, you notice a dark, shadowy figure. And as you start to shift your focus to the dark, shadowy figure, you start to realize that that person is your SP. Now, I want you to call your SP to the center of the stage and into the light. Say their name. Do it now. Now, as your SP begins to walk into the light, you start to notice their facial features, their physical features, and you also notice a gold cord that runs from the center of their third eye directly into your third eye. Now, I want you to look at your SP, and I want you to ask your SP these 2 questions. And I want you to hear them respond. If you can hear their voice, great. If you cannot, that's okay too. I want you to ask your SP right now, do you support me? Hear them tell you, yes. Now ask your SP, do you love me? Also, hear them tell you, yes. Now I want you to say these 4 phrases to your SP. This time, you're not going to hear them respond. And that's okay. I want you to look at your SP in their eyes. And I want you to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now I want you to reach up with your hands as if it's a pair of scissors, and I want you to cut the gold cord that runs from your third eye. And as that cord begins to fall to the floor, I want you to reach up with your other hand, and I want you to grab the roots of that gold cord and just remove them from your third eye and toss them aside. Now, as the gold cord continues to fall to the floor, I want you to notice that your SP starts to float away like a big balloon. And he gets farther and farther and smaller and smaller and farther and farther and smaller and smaller and farther and farther and smaller and smaller and farther until they just disappear. Now take another deep breath in and out and open your eyes. All right. Does anyone else find this fucking annoying? If you can't hear it, well then I'm annoyed. You know, we live in 2026. If they can make silent ass cars, why in the hell can't they silence a fucking tree trimmer? Why are gardening tools so damn like gardener tools? Why are they so damn noisy? But they can make a whole car quiet. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna close this shit because it's driving me nuts. Pause, please. Okay. Jesus, that was freaking annoying. And I'm just like sitting here and I'm like, are you serious? You should all be fired. I'm going to make a petition that they should silence weed whackers. If we can get rid of plastic bags in California, I feel like we can create where they have to make that shit silent. I feel like we could do that. California is like the leader to everything fucking ridiculous, right? We're getting rid of what? Red dye? Red dye. Gonna have to go out. We got rid of menthol cigarettes around here. Yeah, you just gotta go to Nevada and just stock up on everything. Give me those Skittles. I gotta go to Nevada to get some Skittles around here. We can't even get palm trees, can't even get delivered to California. Shit is stupid around here. So, anywho. All right. So, let's go ahead and do the photo method, okay? Now, I need you guys to understand that you're in control, okay? That they can only think the thoughts that you assume they're thinking all the time. All the time. Rhea, that's what I'm saying. We have palm trees everywhere here, but if you try to order one for your backyard, yeah, nah. Nope, sorry. Can't do that. You got to go to Home Depot. Anyway. Okay. So, you need to start viewing your SP differently. Okay? But you also need to understand that it's how you see them and how you just have to know. You have to expect something different from your SP than what you've been getting. Okay? You really, really need to do that. You need to start knowing that they would text you, that they would contact you, because circumstances don't matter. Why would they block you? For what? Who would ever block you? Not your SP. Never. You need to stop worrying about the time. Right now, I don't want you to worry about the time at all. Okay? We're not worrying about the time at all right now. Okay? Instead, I want you to right now, in this very moment, say, forget time. Forget time. Enough time's gone by. I'm not going to worry about the time anymore. I'm not going to worry about circumstances that have nothing to do with me anymore. I'm just going to be. Okay? I'm just going to be. That's all I need to know is I will just be. Okay? And when you come from that notion, then things for you are going to shift. They're going to shift. Because you are coming from a state of being and saying, I know that this is my person. I know that we're getting back together. And so why wouldn't they contact me right now? I need you to start seeing that version of your SP right now, okay? All right. So, excuse me. All right. So, I want you to go down memory lane real quick and get your pictures of your SP out also, in case you knew. Let's go down memory lane real quick, and I want you to see the version of your SP. Go back to the time in your relationship where everything was perfect. I want you to remember that version of your SP. Forget who they were 30 seconds ago. They're not that person anymore. But I want you to go back to the time in your relationship where you never questioned anything. You weren't questioning how they felt about you. You weren't questioning if they were going to contact you today, if you were going to hear from them today. You didn't wonder if you were going to see them. You didn't worry about any of that. You just knew. You just knew because they were your perfect person. You never had any doubts. You weren't questioning anything. You were just being and enjoying the knowing. Recall that version of your SP right now. Who were they as a person for you? How did they make you feel? That is now the only version of your SP that exists. That is it. There is no other version of your SP that exists at all. Only this version right here, right now. Your perfect person is here. They're holding the phone right now. They've been holding this phone. They've been checking their phone numerous times every single day, trying to figure out the right words to say to you, trying to figure out what to say, waiting for you to allow them to text you, to contact you, to come and see you, to want to be with you, to love you. They've been waiting for this moment right now for a long time. For a long time. Right now, you're going to give them that permission. The only way you can give them the permission, the invitation to contact you, permission to press that send button, is by knowing they'll contact you. Is by being, expecting a message from them, getting excited. Get excited right now. I want you to imagine your phone pinging right now, and it is your SP. And you look at your phone right now and you see SP's name on your phone. What feeling would you have right now if that text came through at this current moment? Now I want you to hold that feeling. That is the state of knowing. That is the state of expectation. When you get excited as if that text has already came through. You talk every single day. Why would today be any different? It's not. It's not. You talk every single day, and today is just another day where they're going to text you right now. They've been texting you every day. Get excited. Okay? Okay. Now, get over the moon now, Jackie. If you are new here, I would like you to put on your crown. If you are not new here, I'm going to need you to straighten your crown, because here we get what we want and we get it when we want it. We don't settle around here. We don't settle for less. We don't settle for second best. We get what we deserve. And what you deserve right now is to get contact from your SP. Because they're writing their message to you right now. Right now they're writing that message to you. When kings and queens give commands, do they question, doubt, worry, check, wonder if their command will be fulfilled? No, they don't. When queens and kings give a command, they know, they expect for their command to be fulfilled, because they're the queen, they're the king, and what they say goes. They don't need to worry about it. They just know. They expect. That is who you are. You're the queen and the king of your reality. So that same knowing is what you're going to know now, is what you're going to expect from your SP. Just like you're perfect, just like when things were perfect, you expected that every day and you got. That is the same expectation that you're giving now. If you're in no contact with your SP, or you're in contact but it is not consistent contact, then then you're going to look at your SP's photo. Now, if you're alone, say it out loud. If you're not alone, say it in your mind. Don't look like a wacko. Okay? And now you're going to say it with a little bit of backbone, a little bit of authority, a little bit of conviction. Okay? And you're going to look at your SP's photo. You can say contacting me, texting me, calling me. It doesn't matter. However they would naturally reach out to you is exactly how they're going to do it. Okay, so you can sit there and say, you're contacting me right now. You are contacting me right now. You're contacting me right now. You're contacting me right now. Okay. If you are in constant communication with your SP, then you can tell them they're contacting you right now just to get a text. Or you can move to the next step. You're coming to see me today. 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 Now, if you are in any of the ships, friendship, situationship, relationship, any ship at all, then you can do whatever you want. You can tell them they're contacting you right now. They're coming to see you today. You can tell them, you're bringing me flowers today. You're buying me dinner. You're cooking me dinner. You're going to give me a massage tonight. You're rubbing my feet tonight. You're giving me sexy time tonight. Whatever you want. It doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong. Okay. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to, because you're in the state of expectation, when you give your commands, and the state of knowing, when you give your commands, when you're done, you're going to move about your day. You're not going to think about it again. You're not going to check your phone. You're not going to do any of that. None of that. Because there's nothing to check. You expect. You know. There's nothing to check. Okay? I'm going to pause this so I can go to the ladies' room. Now get busy. Put on your crown. Give your commands. And expect them to contact you. And we are back. understand that thought transmission goes so when you think happy thoughts about them, that's thinking happy thoughts about you. So control your thoughts. Control your thoughts. And go under the notion, remind yourself that they're hearing your thoughts. 24/7. They're hearing your thoughts. So if they're if they're hearing your thoughts 24 all the time, what are you thinking about all the time? If you're thinking about how they're not talking to you, well, that's what they're thinking about, how they don't want to talk to you. If you're thinking about being how they got you blocked, well, guess what they're not thinking about? They're glad they have you blocked. If you're thinking about how they're being mean to you, guess what they're thinking? That they have to be mean to you. That you're pissing them off. You got to stop doing that. You have to stop doing that. So I tell you guys, you guys should be having random thoughts throughout the day that you don't think about again. Just think about something random and don't think about it again. Think about somebody you haven't talked to in a while, and then move on. Like, God, I haven't talked to Sarah in a while. I wonder how she's doing. And then move on. Watch how quickly Sarah contacts you. Okay? Somebody owes you money. Be like, money. They're gonna totally pay me back. Watch how quickly they pay you back. Okay? Anything, anything. Same with your RSP. Have a random thought out there. Throw a random thought out there. Yeah, shit. Well, they said that they have commitment issues. So guess what he can guess all he can think about when he comes to you. How he doesn't want to commit because he's got commitment issues. Well, we're just friends. He said it. So we're just friends. You know, or he says we're best friends. Well, ask yourself this. Who the fuck do people marry? They'll even tell you that in their wedding vows, what do they call their best friend? That's who they marry. The person that they can talk to about everything. And work on your self concept. Work on how you see yourself as a bad bitch, as a once in a lifetime partner, as irreplaceable. Tell yourself this. Like, rave about your fucking self. There's nothing wrong with raving about yourself. People think ego is a bad thing now. All of a sudden, you can't address your ego. this. You need to work on yourself. You need to rave about yourself. You should have a great ego. There's nothing wrong with having a fantastic ego. What makes you magnetic? A good ass ego. What makes you not magnetic? A shallow ego. One that thinks you're not good enough for society in general. What? No. I, society, this world is blessed because I'm in it. Period. What would this world be if I wasn't in it? Everybody in my life is blessed I'm in their life, period. I make everyone's life better just by me being in it. Yeah, you should have an ego. There's nothing wrong. That's called, see, here's the thing. There's this thing called an ego. Do you know what that is? It's called confidence. It's called confidence. Okay. It's called thinking, I'm the best husband you'll ever fucking have. You'll never meet anyone like me. I mean, don't say that to people because because the problem is why people tear you down is because they're not on your level when it comes to that. Okay. So it's like when you walk around thinking you're a bad bitch and you're like, yeah, because I'm a bad bitch. Like I'm the baddest bitch. Like I'm the best girlfriend you'll ever have. They're like, wow, that's confidence, but it's a repellent at the same time only because they don't have that same confidence level within themselves, and that's fine. So you do it to yourself. You say it to yourself, and then people are like, "Damn, just something about her." Of course, none of you guys should be sad and depressed that you're not with your SP at all, because if you firmly believed that you're a once in a lifetime partner and that you're irreplaceable, they have to see the same in you. What would you be sad and depressed about? For what? Sad or depressed about what? In fact, no, they're sad and depressed, not me. They're completely miserable right now. Why? Because I'm not in their, why? Because we're not talking. So every day that goes by, they're more miserable. They miss me and they're just not happy. They're not happy because I'm not in their life, because I make everyone's life fucking better. If they could only be so lucky to be around me all the time. That is a healthy ego. That is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And I hate that people are constantly telling you that like you shouldn't have an ego. The fuck are you talking about? So if I shouldn't have an ego and my ego is not my amigo, then what is it? I should think I'm a piece of shit and that everyone's better than me? How the fuck is that benefiting your life? It's not. So stop letting people tell you who you shouldn't be with, what you shouldn't have, because it's not their life. It's your life. It's your life. You deserve to be with whoever the fuck you want to be with. I don't care what anybody fucking says. I don't care if society tells you it's wrong. I don't give a shit. You should be with whoever you want. You deserve to have whatever you want. People can call it whatever they want. You're superficial. Well, I guess. You have high standards. Well, I guess. And who said that's a bad thing? The people that don't have that. Well, you know, you shouldn't want to be rich. That's selfish. How's that selfish? Just because you don't want to be rich or you don't think you can be rich. Well, that's a you problem. That's not a me problem. I don't want to work hard. So how's that a problem? To who? It's only a problem to people who think you have to work hard to make money. That's a you problem. That isn't a me problem. Money can't buy you happiness. Well, money certainly makes life a whole lot easier. And how in the fuck can I help other people in my life if I'm broke with them? That doesn't make any sense. Right? How the heck can I better people's life if I'm miserable? If I'm not happy? How can I make other people happy if I'm not happy? How can I do things if I don't see myself as, if I don't put my needs and my desires and my wants first? How the hell can I be the best version of myself for others in my life? If I'm tearing myself down, if I don't think that I deserve any of this shit. Come on now. Because you wouldn't tell your daughter that. You would never tell your children that you're never going to amount to shit, bitch. By the way, you don't deserve to be happy. You don't deserve to have what you want. You need to settle in life. Who the fuck tells their kids that? No one. At least they shouldn't, right? Instead, most people tell their kids the opposite. Like, you can go after your dreams, honey. You can have and do and be whatever you want. The sky is the limit. You can do, you're the one boosting up. You're like a cheerleader for your kids. Why don't you be a cheerleader for your fucking self? Be a cheerleader for yourself. Daylight. You told your SP you want to be intentional in dating and no sex, but now you're scared now because of rejection. Well, that depends on how you see your SP. Okay, so you need to see yourself. You can set whatever standard you want. You don't verbalize it to them, okay? But you can have whatever standard you want. So there's a lot of people that don't want to rush into sex with their SP. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but you have to believe that he also he's completely understanding to that. And he wants what you want. He's very respectful of your feelings, and he wants to be with you for you and not your body or not for your sex. You know what I'm saying? Because the reality is sex is a bonus. But if you think that somebody's going to be with somebody for the rest of their life because they're good in bed, they're not. They're not. Because you know what's cheaper? To go buy a fucking hooker for the night than to deal with a lifetime of misery because the sex is great. They're not going to do that. So you need to start seeing that instead of rejection. Because if you're scared now because of rejection, then he will bring that up, that sex is a problem or the lack of sex is a problem because you assume it is. But if you assume it's not, it's not. Okay, he won't care. So me and SP husband are currently in position where our life is exactly the same, except he has a girlfriend. How do I take the next step? What should I be affirming? Hold on, let me go back and read that shit again. You and SP husband are currently in a position where our life is exactly the same, except he has a girlfriend now. Oh, so your husband has good or trash. So, our family life is the same, and he tells me he loves me, etc. We just don't sleep in the same house. Okay, so you should be telling yourself, but you need to be honest with yourself through daylight too. Okay, So what you need to be telling yourself is, yes, poor temps, I will answer you. So you need to see your husband as perfect husband, loyal, faithful, and committed to you and only you. He wants to be with you for the rest of his life. In fact, he doesn't want to be with anyone but you for the rest of his life. You're his favorite person. Like, you're the only, he can't imagine his life without you in it. You're the love of his life. Okay. So you need to describe your marriage how you want it to be. Okay. You need to describe your husband as the perfect husband, right? Whatever that is for you, whatever qualities he has, obviously add, loyal, faithful, and committed to you and your family. Okay. So that's step one. Step two is you can also affirm, if you think about gutter trash, you can affirm gutter trash away. So it's like gutter trash, actually, you can do two things. You can affirm that gutter trash goes away on her own. She found someone else and she's moved on. She's like, anytime you think about her, no, she's found someone else and she's moved on. She prefers, single men, not married men. Okay. You can do that. Second thing you can do is give her an identity that you know he can't stand. What is something that you, because you know your husband better than anybody. So what is something that you know he can't stand? Total deal breaker. Well, that's not who gutter trash is. That's not who gutter trash is. All she does is bring him a fucking headache. That's all she does. Give him headaches. He fucking hates her. All they do is argue. She's gone away. She's completely gone away. Or you can just tell yourself that she's gone away. Whatever has to happen for that to become true is exactly what's going to happen. She can't stop it. Gutter trash will aid perfectly in your manifestation. You don't need to worry about it. Shenzi, how persistent should you be to see movement? Shenzi, what are you talking about? You should be very persistent. Very persistent. Okay? You should be so persistent and live in the knowing, right? Just know. You need to know how this plays out for you. And just to know. Be like, no, I know how he feels about me. I know he's in love with me. I absolutely know he's in love with me. And I know that we're getting back together, period. And I'm going to persist in that truth and only that truth. And I don't give a shit what the 3D says, because all we give to the 3D is one of these bad boys. It's all they get. It's all the 3D ever gets, unless it shows me what I want to see. If it ain't showing me what I want to see, that's what that can do. Okay. And don't worry about it. Now, don't worry about it. We need to understand that that's all that is, okay? And not react in our thoughts. Don't go digging for shit unless it's going to, benefit you. Jen, where you're laying with them and they're holding on to you, do you say you will do this? Okay, let me see here. When you're laying with them and they're holding on to you, do you say you will do this? In your mind, yeah. In your mind, you can say whatever you want. And they hear your thoughts. Circum, but it will be. Stop, Shanzi. I don't want to hear you, so I don't want you to see no contact. None of you. If you guys are in no contact, none of you guys should be reiterating you're in no contact. None of you guys should be focusing on the time about how long it's been since you last spoke to this person either. Instead, it should be like, what do you mean no contact? We talk every day. We literally talk every single day. Tell yourself that. Have inner conversations with yourself about how you talk every fucking day long. Like, we literally talk all the time. Like, he's so in love with me. He is so in love with me. All he can think about right now is how miserable he is without me. Like, anytime, and you don't have to imply that you're not, that's not implying you're not together, okay? You can literally be like, you can literally have an entire inner conversation like, yeah, every second we're not together, he's completely miserable. Like, he misses me every minute we're not together, right? That's implying in a relationship in general, okay? What if he tolerates in gutter trash behaviors against his values and standards? I want to see her true self. Okay, Auntie, so if you want to see her true self, then you need to tell yourself that she has completely exposed her true colors. And my SP can't stand anything about her. He thinks she's lower of the he thinks she's the lowest of the low, completely pathetic. And he wants nothing to do with her. Because the problem that you're having, Auntie, is that you're most likely viewing her as controlling or manipulative. And as long as you're viewing your gutter trash as controlling or manipulative, they have to continue to allow themselves to be controlled or manipulated, even if it's clear as day, even if they're aware of it. It doesn't matter. So instead, you need to see the opposite. You need to not see that he tolerates gutter trash behaviors. Absolutely not. He doesn't tolerate anything about her. He fucking hates everything about her. Doesn't tolerate shit. He tolerates nothing from her. Or you can say something totally different, like he holds his values and his standards so high that she's gone away. Yeah, use the fact that if you know that he has values and standards, she doesn't meet any of the criteria. Yeah, she does not meet his values or his standards at all. And so she's gone away. Leverage what you know about him. Okay, leverage what you know about him. Okay. That's all you guys get to do. But no, we don't hope so. This is a fact. I manifested gutter trash right back to the dumpster she crawled out of, and let the dump truck take her out. I've also helped numerous clients manifest gutter trash away real fast. Okay? All right. Now, I got a jet because I got a coaching call coming up. I got a bunch of them today. So if you are interested in having me manifest your SP for you, you want one-on-one coaching with me, text coaching, want WhatsApp community access, all of that shit. If you want guided meditation, sleep hypnosis, whatever you want, or I'm sorry, actual hypnosis, all links are in the bio, okay, in my bio, or description if you're watching from YouTube. It's in the description, okay? I love each and every, hey AJ, I bet you are late to the party. Thanks, Rhea. I love each and every one of you, and let's go. I want you guys to just be, for the next 24 hours, I want you to get out of your own fucking head. I want you to just be and to know I'm the baddest bitch in the world, and no one is going to take that from me. And he knows that. My SP knows that I'm the baddest bitch in the world, period. And I want you guys to be that person. I want you guys to just know, okay? Just know that that you're that person, okay? And just know that they also know that about you too. And then I want you to throw random thoughts out there. I want you to have random thoughts or say something at random. Just say something at random and do not worry about it. I love your names for me, Shanzi. And do not worry about it. Don't think about it again. Just throw random things out there about multiple people in your life. People that maybe you haven't talked to in a while. Something else, like anything. And watch it manifest. Watch all of a sudden these people contact you. These people start paying you back. Random things. All because that's just random things that you're saying to yourself. Watch how it goes. Watch how it goes. Thanks, Dawn, girlfriend. It's not getting better. That's what you're telling yourself that. So unless you're flying their wall, Bex, and you got their whole entire house under camera and surveillance, just because social media shows you that their life is getting better, that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. Also, you're probably, good, Roberta, you're also probably viewing very much their marriage as a thing. And so because of that, it brings them closer. Okay? All right. I love you, besties. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.